This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO. Hey, everybody. Joe Castello back in studio, back in the lab, busting out another episode of Ignition. And if you are a new listener, if you are a first-time listener, you are going to want to subscribe. I know it. Some point in the future, there will be a show that is worthy of your subscription. It may not be this one, but it will happen, I guarantee. And we tell all of our new listeners, we say, and I say we by myself and the Giovanni in Miami, who is also here back in studio, not on the phone line. He is here. Woo! There he is. The great Giovanni. What's up, great Giovanni?
And in the studio, well, because we're not doing a Friday tailgate show, we're doing a Monday pre-gate show or whatever you want to call it.
Hopefully we get some points for putting in the effort. The quality may never be great, but the effort is always there. And brings me back to my point to the first-time listener who is checking out this show. And we've experienced some growth, some healthy growth because of the entertainment value. It's certainly not the news and the content. The entertainment value of the Ignition podcast. People are realizing this is not just a NASCAR thing. I'm thinking about taking the word NASCAR off the title. Quick poll, instant poll, Giovanni and others. Is the word NASCAR in the title, like the tweets and the title, is the word NASCAR Ignition, is it a benefit or is it a hindrance? Are there people still looking for NASCAR podcasts that say, oh, look, a NASCAR podcast, and then they get it and they hear us talking about nonsense and they go away? Or are there people who are looking for good quality entertainment that isn't necessarily about NASCAR, shying away because it says NASCAR? That's the instant poll. Please respond. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email, joe@wforadio.com. Joey Logano wins the race. You may recall the tailgate party handicappers. I said, man, I really want to pick Joey Logano, but I'm going to pick Kevin Harvick. And it was like two ships passing in the night. But Joey Logano went on to great victory. And, of course, you hear the winner's press conference in our podcast feed. People are enjoying that. And I saw it even struck up a little conversation with some of our WFO radio listeners. They were like talking about, like, I hope you address this on the show and it'll be really good. We also got a complaint. Somebody was angry at me. We're going to talk about that. We've got our fantasy league results. We're going to talk Haas F1. What else do we got? I got stood up.
What?
Yeah. I got stood up. I had a thing. It was a plan, and then it didn't. I got stood up. It's kind of a negative thing.
Ladies don't love Cool J.
No, not this one. And it's a sad thing. But I'm gonna just prevail. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going and growing with my life. All of these things, plus the fantasy league and all that. But before I go any further, we always want to start off with something, positive and energetic and all of that. The podcast is back. Oh my gosh, share. But there's a little bad news, and it is incomplete. But I'm going to share the news. I've seen on social media that our great friend Tanner Thorson was involved in like a road accident with the hauler. And it's going to take some recovery time. That's all I got. And so I've put the word out, and we're trying to find out. But the social media traffic basically states that he's going to have to recover an injury maybe to his hand. You can see that on our WFO Facebook page. Craig Thorson, our great listener from the Northwest Nitro Fanatics, shared it. But let's assume like that's something. Or maybe I shouldn't be assuming at all, or maybe I shouldn't even reporting this, because what if none of it's true?
Well, no, it's definitely true. I've seen it like Big Auto Week and other motorsport publications, Speed Sport, and so forth. Even in a San Francisco area local TV report that he was involved in a car accident, not on a racetrack, out on the highway.
Yeah.
Hospitalized after suffering broken bones in a fiery crash on northbound California Highway 99 around 4 a.m. Monday morning.
All right, so you've got more news already. That's great.
Yeah.
And where? 4 a.m. when?
Monday morning. So Sunday
today.
night, Monday morning.
Yeah,
correct.
Today. And we don't like to timestamp the show unless it's important stuff like this. That's horrible, man. This
California Highway Patrol officials confirmed that Thorson, driving a truck that was hauling his Tri-C Motorsport Sprint car, rear-ended a milk truck around 4 a.m. Thorson did not slow down upon reaching a construction zone, collecting 2 additional vehicles in the incident. Thorson most recently raced in the World of Outlaws at Las Vegas dirt track on Wednesday and Thursday with a best finish of 13th in Thursday night's B-Main. His injuries have been described as non-life-threatening. So at least good news.
Excellent.
This could have been really bad. We have active workers out here who could have easily been hit or struck by these vehicles. That's about it for now. The 22-year-old Speed Sport reported that the 22-year-old will undergo surgery to address his injuries on Monday night.
Just a horrific nightmare. Tanner has always been very cool. You know, the reason we started having him on the show is just simply that we took an interest in him because he has the same last name as one of our loyal listeners. And the guy's like, hey, check out this kid. And the kid's obviously good and can wheel a race car and has had some his growth trajectory is going up. And this is obviously a horrific setback. We wish him the best. We wish him the best.
Absolutely.
To get back to health and resume the racing career. As far as the over-the-road accident, who knows? It's very tough, the highways. You're racing, you're out there, you're going over the road. He's up at 4 a.m., he's driving, he's trying to get wherever he's going. And, bad situation. Get well, Tanner. Simple as that. Now, we're going to keep on going, though. We've got some interesting thing. We've got several pieces of audio that we are going to play from the WFO universe. And it looks like you guys are finally figuring out the whole methodology of record into your mobile device and play it back for yourself to make sure it's what you want it to sound like, and then email it, joe@wforadio.com. We got a couple of them. And so I know we've been doing a bad job of playing them, which then encourages more people to do it. But I feel like on this show, we're going to have like a watershed moment. Watershed. You like that?
Definitely.
Yes. A little sports collision note. The Miami Heat, victorious again. Excellent.
Yes, very good.
I have actually, it's weird. I've rekindled my passion for basketball recently.
What was it, going out to the game or?
The hoop at your house.
Oh, very good.
The hoop at your house and playing with the gray.
Isn't it great?
Isn't it great? I know we talked about Uncle Drew last week on the show, and it's just I've been kind of thinking about, what was up with basketball? What's up with basketball? And I got a whole story. I know what it is. It's a little embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as getting stood up, but it's embarrassing. A little embarrassing. I shouldn't be embarrassed. But we're going to get into that. All kinds of stuff. NHRA Nitro coming out this week. Here's one for you. Ooh. How do I say this? There's NHRA unfinished business. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Because the next big race is the 50th Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals, and it's going to be in Gainesville, Florida, and it's going to be my 40th straight. That is assuming, I'm going, but hopefully my dad can go. My dad has kind of fallen ill right before, but we're going to, juice him up with antibiotics and get him out there. But unfinished business.
That sounds so terrible, dude.
What?
I'm just going to juice them up with medication and get them out there.
Yes.
Even I have
no weekend at Bernie's joke necessary,
right.
Please. But I understand that your brain went there. And he's going to be fine. But the real thing is this. There is unfinished business. The Muldowney and Snake and Ed the Ace and Garlitz and Amato and Terry Vance and Warren Johnson and Kenny Bernstein. There are going to be 8 of them in identically prepared Toyota Camrys. And everybody goes, why are they going to be Camrys, man? And the answer is because it's the official car of the NHRA, and they were easy to get, and they're equal. And, that's it. And some of these people, Garlitz is in his 80s and sure, we want to make it easy on them. And there's no other way to get a bunch of equal cars, man. We don't have an IROC series. Mr. Negative, hashtag punch in the face. But I know the pairings. I know the pairings. Windows Defender summary. It has successfully taken action on 2 threats. I know the pairings. In fact...
Oh, I do too. I think I saw it.
You did.
I saw it. Oh, that was a behind-the-scenes exclusive.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Because if you're thinking I'm going to reveal the pairings on Ignition, I might. Or I might not. You think I may reveal when the pairings are going to be revealed?
You mean there's not going to be a Joe versus Gio first-round matchup?
Oh, my gosh. The Joe versus Gio first-round matchup will be great. Gio would be loading up. But I will tell you this.
Man, I'm going to double O.
Yeah, I did be double O, take double O. I went to the home of, I can't even reveal that, can I? That I'm going to reveal.
Yeah, I think that is
That I'm going to reveal. Yes, I'm revealing that Darrell Gwynn, our own Miami-based South Florida Top Fuel legend, the 1989 and 1990 winner of the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals, will be the Grand Marshal of the event. Okay? So I went to Darrell's home, and we shot a video revealing the pairings. And the video, which, I put a fair amount of effort into it, will be revealed Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. And so everybody needs to be on the social media, like up early, set your alarms early, and be there staring and refreshing at your feeds. Refresh. And be ready, and you will know. And then you will know what I know. And you will know what we are about to witness. And at the same time, this is connected to NHRA Nitro because I am hopefully trying to chase down some people that are of pretty significant import to this deal. In addition to Matt Hagan going to be on the show. Did you see Matt and Leah say, "Drivers, start your engines"?
I did.
What did you think?
I thought it was great.
Oh, man, it was great. It was okay. Gio has retweeted positive thoughts to Tanner Thorson.
Don't you have, quiet on that or something?
Okay, you want a little side note, everybody? Okay, because, have we done a nice official start for the first-time listener? Can we digress now into our normal stuff? I am living
into our serial stuff?
Yeah, I'm living a new life now. Today is the first day of my new life that everybody needs to understand. I am now Apple Watch guy.
Oh, Joe,
I'm Apple Watch guy.
Gone full circle to the dark side.
Full circle Apple Watch guy. Yes.
Apple everything. Oh, you don't have an Apple computer, though.
No. But I have Apple phone, and now I have Apple Watch. And it's a total, I'm wearing it right now because I have to get used to wearing a watch on my wrist for the first time in 30 years. When I was a small child growing up in South Florida, I always found it interesting to have a watch. I remember, I think I had a Mickey Mouse watch, and then I got this really cool. Remember when the calculator watches first came out, when they started coming around, like little small Japanese-made calculator watches? And everybody was like, look at my calculator watch. I can calculate. And it was like, oh, man, this guy Mark got a real cool calculator watch. Mom, I want a cool watch. And so I got a cool watch. I got a Casio solar-powered blah, 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 whatever watch. And I wore a lot of watches, man. I was into having a watch. And then I realized, I don't really need a watch. I'm pretty good with keeping up with the time as it is. There's clocks everywhere. And then they gave us these mobile devices, which you don't need a watch at all. But something has occurred to me.
That is my watch.
Right. You don't need a watch. What do you need a watch for? But there's something new going on in my life that I cannot pull my phone out to look at my phone. And I will tell you what it is as we get ready for the results and the big Joey Logano victory and some interesting commentary. Doing the pre-race ceremonies at the NHRA national events. I remember when Alan Reinhart, was doing it for many years, and Alan Reinhart always had a watch. This guy's a watch guy. I'm not a watch guy. These guys with their watches. I'm not a watch guy. And I was even talking to Paulie the White Guy he wants to get a big, expensive, glorified watch. What's up with these watch people? It's got to be a watch. It's got to be a huge watch. It's got to cost a couple of $1,000s. It's status for men. The watch has taken over from the car or something. Are you familiar with this? Like the big giant watches? How do you not know about this? It's a big racing thing.
Oh, that dudes wear watches. Those big watches? Yeah. My coworker has.
Okay, so then why did you say no? Affinity. You're reading Twitter over there and retweeting, and I know all about it because Mike told me on my Apple Watch. But that this watch thing is a thing. Like
watch, but men have always been.
Yeah, but it's going into a new level now with the hugeness of the watches.
No, but those guys that like watches are into the big thing.
Do you remember?
Buddy Damien has got like a dozen watches.
Watches, right? Watches is a thing for men. It's like shoes for women. There's a whole thing with men and their watches. Like, my watch costs $6,000. I'm a great person.
Yeah.
Look at me. It's a validator of existence. I have a great watch, which means I'm successful, and you can see that I have this great watch. And I always thought it was pretty dumb, and I really still do. If I had $10,000 extra sitting around, the last thing in the world I would spend it on would be a watch. I will go to Orchids of Asia first, to kick it back to last week's show. But believe it or not, and you may remember our buddy Tony from Race Watches.
Yes.
Remember that early on in WFO?
I do.
Like, we gave away a very expensive race watch to try to buy some audience.
A dime.
Was it?
I think so.
Was it $1,000 watch?
Something like that. Very close to it.
I wonder if the listener that won the $1,000 watch is still out there listening to the show. I think that would be a very rightful occurrence. You win a $1,000 watch on some podcast, you better listen and have brought some listeners around. But anyway,
absolutely.
In addition to social strata and showing everybody how successful you are and that you have the strength to hold a 10-pound watch on your wrist, there's actually another reason. It's to know what time it is.
No way.
Yes.
Come on.
And believe it or not. And who knows for each individual how important this aspect of it is. But I found myself on stage at the Arizona Nationals needing to know the time. And you can't go into your pocket to look at your phone when you're up on stage holding a microphone, talking to people. So what do you do? What do you do? You could have someone out in the crowd holding up a sign or holding up their phone.
Or one of those digital clocks for you. Maybe Flavor Flav is out there. He could hold his watch up there for you.
Could have somebody get in your ear and tell you the time on the radio. Nah. It's 10 minutes after. You have 11 minutes to go. Or, and this was the mind blower here, you could buy a watch.
No way.
Yes. And so then now I'm in the market for a watch. All right. Oh, God, I guess I have to get a watch. This is a necessary tool of the position. I have to do this. I have to be able to casually look down at my wrist and know what time it is without people big like, look at this guy taking his phone out of his pocket. And so I went to buy an Apple Watch. Because if I'm going to get a watch, I'm going to get a watch that does a whole bunch of stuff, like tells me when Gio is tweeting.
I stopped, though, right?
And all of these things, right? And it is very interesting. And so I'm getting like a rash around my wrist as it's doesn't get the oxygen anymore. My skin is turning like white, like when you have a Band-Aid on for too long.
Is it too tight, man?
I don't know. I don't know anything about wearing a watch anymore. I'm like you can see.
You know what the last watch I owned was, and here you go. Maybe some of you can go in the Wayback Machine right now.
Can I guess?
And remember, yes, go for it.
Okay, watches. You had a Swatch watch.
I actually do have a Swatch watch that I acquired through, means.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my watch. It was
a gambling debt that you received.
It wasn't quite a gambling debt, but yes,
watch.
I did receive the Swatch watch as a debt payment.
Yeah.
But the last watch that I actually owned that was mine, and I guess I bought or had someone buy for me. You ready?
I'm ready.
It was a G-Shock and it was like that bright yellow color. I think I had that thing like in middle school, junior high school. I'm talking about like 1986, 87 stuff. Right. And it was one of those yellow G-Shock that they're all rubber. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I really don't know anything.
Google G-Shock watch.
G-Shock watch.
It's like a Casio, I want to say.
Well, I had the Casio. Like I had the multiple Casios.
And that was it. I bet you if I go look for it, I will find it. I think I know exactly what box it's in, too.
So Paulie the White Guy even says to me, he's like, well, wouldn't it be cool to have a Rolex? And I'm like, no, it would not be cool to have a Rolex. It would be cool to have the money to buy a Rolex. That would be cool. They still make these G-Shocks.
Oh, yeah? Well, look at that. So I'm not.
It's still a thing, man. It's still a thing. Like, everybody's got them, the G-Shocks. And it's made by Casio.
I was right.
Of course, Casio. G-Shock. Extra large. Stealth display. You know how much it is? Oh, you know what? I'm going to get you one of these. This is going to be your yearly bonus.
$10 or something.
No, man. Like you could get Amazon Prime for $79.
And they'll drop it off before the end of the show.
Yeah. Oh, no, the big one. You definitely want the $99 one. And this is it. Military series. Watch in Black. GA100.
There you go. You see?
Yeah. No, it's cool.
So,
G-Shock.
yeah, that's the last one I had. And
there it is on your wrist.
Well, no, I don't have any pictures of it on my wrist.
No, they do on Amazon. They have a picture of it.
I found the exact same one it is.
Yeah.
It's the yellow one. Right here, images. Click on that one, Joe.
You have to send me the link.
I'm just teasing. But I did see it. It's like really yellow. A little
like blast
bright
from the
gold,
past.
Like Pittsburgh Steelers, LA Rams, bright yellow gold.
Oh, wow. So anybody know about anything Apple Watch related? You can tell me. Because I need to know. Because I can, I kind of got the basics going. But like, what do I need? What do I do? You can change the face. How do you communicate? Can you talk through this thing? What's the story? What's the best thing about it? What's the worst thing about it? It's Series 3. Because Series 4, I hear, is just a big waste of money. As is the whole thing, probably. All right, let's get into the victory. The first-time listener is like, do these guys ever talk about NASCAR? And the answer is, yeah, we do. Plus, we got all this extra stuff, including we have a IndyCar report from IndyCar testing at Circuit of the Americas from the RaceSherpa. And everybody's like, what, a new character on the show? What?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, kind of a new character on the show. Vince Carter couldn't believe D. Wade still closing out games, says Bleacher Report.
You are hilarious with this watch now.
It's just a new thing that has happened.
I will report one. D. Wade surpassed Michael Jordan as the all-time blocks leader from the guard position.
Wow.
I mean, anytime you pass Michael Jordan in anything is pretty big. I think.
Yeah, I think exactly. Well, D. Wade, a great athlete. I was thinking about D. Wade. Okay, like greatest Miami team athlete, right?
Greatest Heat player for sure.
But I mean, he won what? 3 championships.
Yeah. He won one by himself. Well, not by himself,
Shaq.
but yes. But that was Shaq at the end. It was D. Wade got the MVP.
Shaq was a big part of it, but still,
he was.
Yes. Flash took over. But still, 3 championships. Who else here in Miami has done that? Bob Greasy won what? 2. Dan Marino, who we love to death, won 0. Who else has won anything? Like, the Marlins have won a couple of World Series with different groups of guys. D. Wade, man, he's the guy. He's the Miami guy. He's won the most stuff. And he played his whole career here. He is the Miami top athlete.
Technically has 3 also, but...
Come on. Let's get into it. Let's talk. You know who has won championships in Miami? Joey Logano.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Joey Logano wins at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a race that I was thrilled to watch all of. And I got to enjoy it.
I had some stats there for all of those negative Nancys.
Well, we're going to get into the negative Nancys because a couple of our listeners out there were, concerned that, not concerned, they just wanted to hear our opinion about something, and we pulled the audio. If you don't subscribe to WFO Radio or get the free app, one of the things we do is we post, as in Gio posts, the winner's press conference each Monday, so you can hear the driver, and you can get a great understanding of everything that happened out there in the race. And Joey Logano is answering all kinds of questions, and somebody asked him something that kind of flared him up in a way that was very similar to what we have been talking about on the show with our hashtag punch in the face thought process. And so we'll get into that. But let me get the full results in.
Punch in the face.
Hashtag punch in the face. Yeah, it's a thing now. It's becoming a thing because it's not just me and it's not just my friends and everybody knows. And I know there's a whole hundreds of different reasons, and they might be different, but people be pissed. People be pissed. People be pissed at the people that are pissed.
Well, I've been calling it the anti-social media for a pretty long time now.
Toilet for negativity. Oh, my gosh. Oh, what's that pushing inside? Oh, it feels so bad. It's so negative. Oh, let me put it somewhere.
A cesspool.
Yeah. Okay, now it's on the social media. I feel better. And everybody else is like, oh, look at that. Just like a big poo. Joey Logano wins the race. Brad Keselowski second. Kyle Busch third. Let's hear from the winner out there in Vegas, baby.
There's been plenty of times here where we've led a lot of laps, and by the stats, this is probably our best racetrack or close to it, and we've never won. And that's the most important stat to have. And usually something happens the last run, and Brad gets a little better, and for some reason his last pit stop they make a good change, and he becomes the fastest car and he wins. And he's done that here plenty of times. And I looked in the mirror. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening again! I can't believe it!" And he's able to get by me, and I was like, "Oh, I hope this didn't happen. I can, keep trying to get in front of him again." And was able to get a run on a lap car and be able to work down into the corner and be able to clear him. But I burnt my tires off so bad trying to get back in front of him that I was just working so hard inside the car trying to maintain the gap, and I was in a good shape, and then I caught a lap car, and he went up into the top lane, which is where I was running, and I followed him right in there, and I was like, oh no, and I just lost a ton of time, and then brought Brad close enough to where he can catch a draft off of me to close up the rest of the gap. And I thought, man, good thing this thing's 400 miles. I just told the Pennzoil people, let's not make this race any longer. That was just the right length. 405 would have been a little bit too long. So it is cool, though. I remember sitting up here on the stage when they announced Pennzoil was going to be the sponsor for this race, and how important it was for me to win this thing. So it's cool to be able to deliver for them.
Joey, first of all, just gave you like 5 great drops right there to pull. Like, oh, no, and like funny things there.
The gap.
The kid is funny. And his personality is coming out, and he is, that's his first win as a champion.
He's a champ.
He's a champ.
By the way,
he
22 career wins now.
Now, that was 22 or 23, because last week you had told me, I think you referenced 22. I remember that.
But he didn't win last week.
No, but what I'm saying is we were talking about his win total a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like you said 22 then. So maybe this is 23?
Then he passed. Well, he hasn't won any races this year.
But he just won this one, though. This is his 22nd or 23rd win? Let me just ask you that way.
I believed this was his 22nd win, matching his car number, tying Texas Terry.
There it is. Wow.
That's what I got.
Joey Logano and Terry Labonte.
But I will confirm.
Terry Labonte has, 2 championships, though, right?
That he does, yes.
But Joey Logano has got...
but time on his side.
Yeah, and the big Daytona 500 victory as well. Joey Logano wins the race. Brad Keselowski second. Kyle Busch third. Kevin Harvick fourth. That was my pick. Big mistake. Man, I was so close to taking Joey, and I just went the other direction. It was just big, bad
You got to go with your gut, man.
Yeah,
you gotta go with
I know.
Your gut.
Well, my gut told me Kevin Harvick, honestly.
Well, Harvick,
I had it narrowed down to 2 guys.
Well, you had the 2 guys that...
Sometimes you lose. Yeah. You just lose sometimes. Kurt Busch, 5th.
22nd win, just for the record.
There it is. Lock it in. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 6th. Eric Almirola, 7th. Martin Truex Jr., 8th. Chase Elliott, 9th. Denny Hamlin, 10th. 11th on back. Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, Clint Boyer, Paul Menard, William Lord Byron, Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Jimmy Johnson, Austin Dillon, rounding out the top 20. Matt DiBenedetto, my new favorite driver, 21st. 22nd, Ryan Blaney. 23rd, Daniel Hemrick. 24th, Ryan Newman. 25th, Ryan Preece. 26th, Bubba Wallace. 27th, Corey LaJoie. 28th, David Reagan. 29th, Ty Dillon. 30th on back, Michael McDowell, Parker Kligerman, Landon Castle, Ross Chastain, Matt Tiff, Cody Ware, Reed Sorensen, B.J. McLeod, and Joey Gase, rounding out the field. And yes, I did say Matt DiBenedetto is my new favorite driver. I don't know if I had thought about talking about it on the show or actually talked about it on the show, but I'm seriously considering making Matt DiBenedetto my new favorite driver. The only thing is that he's in a Toyota, And that is, kind of not my thing. But I love the way this guy is such a grinder, man. Matt DiBenedetto is the ultimate grinder. He is grinding his way into, a great life in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series season. He's like a Roy Hobbs. He's a nobody from nowhere. Matt DiBenedetto, right? He had a road course background, and he's making it. The kid's got talent. He's making it. And you got to give him credit, man. You got to love it. All right. So Joey Logano wins the race. And after the race, during the press conference, he is getting a grilling of questions from people. And the subject is the rules package. Now, I watched the race. You guys watched the race. I didn't see Atlanta, but I saw the highlights of Atlanta. And I saw the laps led in Atlanta. And I want to bring that up real quick. Like this thing. Okay, you've got a fair amount of, the top 5 guys all led double-digit laps. Okay? And yes. Then a smattering of people, like Austin Dillon led a couple of laps. Okay, look at it this way.
No, pretty much other than that was Lord Byron, I know, led a few laps.
And Suarez led 12.
There you go.
But okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that led double-digit laps. I have not compared and contrasted this stat, but it sounds like that's good. You've got 7 guys who were able to get up there and lead for more than 10 laps at a time, which means it wasn't just a fluke, and they went up there and led. That sounds like it's pretty exciting. I also watched the race, and there was good battling. It was close. You felt like guys could go up there and pass. The draft was working. There were times where there was bump drafting for the lead. There was side-by-side for the lead. I felt like it was exciting racing. And for many years, we had something called Fans for Restrictor Plate Racing, FFRR. You remember, I'm a Talladega freak. And I said for so many years that, listen, the best product in stock car land is the restrictor plate races. And they also get the best ratings. And people watch. It's the most compelling action. It just is. Because you have so many cars that are in the mix for the victory. Well, this package makes these 1.5 miles. You may recall, for those of you who have been with the show for a long time, once upon a time, Michael Waltrip suggested to use plates at California Speedway and high bank it.
Yes, he did.
Remember that?
Absolutely.
And I immediately advocated for that, except it would cost a lot of money. So this plan, what we're seeing is race 2 of the NASCAR effort to do that. The first one, I only saw the highlights. This one, I saw it. I felt I was entertained. Like, what do you want? I was entertained. Honestly, I don't know any of these guys. I don't have any reason to love any of these guys. Like racers that I've loved in my life. Richard Petty, the King. I grew up loving the King because why? Because he's the King. And then, Dale Earnhardt. Right? I liked Rusty Wallace when he was driving for Raymond Beadle, which is kind of antithesis to the Earnhardt thing. But I did, because he was driving for a drag racer. And then Earnhardt. And then Dale Jr. And then here I am now, disconnected from all of it. So I don't have my heart in this. I'm just watching for racing entertainment. And I thought it was good racing entertainment. I thought it was fine. So after the race, Lee Spencer, who has been on this show, who is now working for the Racing Boys or something, poses a question to Joey Logano about the entertainment value of the racing. Let's listen.
Let's face, from our perspective, from observations, the first stage wasn't all that great, but by the final stage, you guys were all kind of figuring out and getting it together. You really found it exciting. The people who were here watching it found it exciting. How do we translate that to the fans sitting at home who are on Twitter complaining right now?
Who's complaining? Okay, here's the thing. People love to complain. You want to get me going? Here we go. People love to talk about negative stories, and I don't know why. I don't understand it. There's a lot of positive going on in our world, and I'm not just talking about NASCAR racing, but there's plenty of good things that happen, and every time we turn on the news, I'm sick of seeing negative stories because there's all these good stories that get overshadowed by someone writing a negative story or someone getting on Twitter and being all big and bad and writing something that makes them feel better because they want something different. Sometimes those people know what they want. That's my opinion. I think when I look at where we are as a sport, there's a lot of great things coming down the pipeline for us. There's a lot of great decisions that are being made. There's a lot of collaboration of race teams and drivers and sponsors and racetracks. Everyone's working together. TV partners, media, all you guys we're all working together, and there's a lot of good things happening because we're working together. And I think the fans are going to benefit from that. I thought, I don't know what else to tell you, man. When you have cars racing side by side to the start finish line after how many laps was that last run? A long run, 100 laps ish. 100 laps, yeah. What else you want? I don't know. They're just trolls on Twitter, man. That's what they are.
They're just trolls on Twitter. That's what they are. Hashtag punch in the face. And that is exactly right. And that's what exactly I have been saying about all subjects for many weeks now, for a long time. Now, we could cover many subjects because sometimes there are negative stories, and we could delve deeply. Like, of course, everything's rosy for you, Joey, because, you're living your dream and you're a multimillionaire and you've got a beautiful wife and a family and you get to fly around and do exactly what you choose to at every second, for the most part. Yeah, but that's not what it's about, man. This kid worked hard. That's not what it's about. What it's about is there's always now a perpetual negativity created by the social medias. And he says it right there. They don't even know what they want. But the answer is I do. No, that is not. But it's not true, though. They want attention. And they know that the easiest way to get attention is to create a negative comment. That's the easiest way to get attention, period, to create something negative. Because no is more powerful than yes. We know that overall. Fear is more powerful than whatever the opposite of fear is. I'm hoping you could bail me out. I don't know.
Bravery?
Bravery? Is it love? I don't know what it is.
No,
the opposite of fear, right? But hate is more powerful than love. I mean, I don't know about that.
I guess it is. If you're afraid of something, what would be the opposite? Not afraid of it, that you love it or like it?
I don't know. Opposite of fear. Put that one at the end. Yeah, you learn stuff on the show every once in a while because so do we. We don't know that. But there are people that they have figured out. Let's take a second. All right. Neil, my talk radio mentor, used to have the worst just opinion of many of the callers because there was no social media. And you could think about talk radio was really the original social media, the original one. Like someone's having a conversation and they're a total stranger and you could pick up your phone and you could call and interject your opinion, whatever it is. And sometimes it's good, but most of the time it's bad, negative. Bleh. And that's what he would do. Bleh. You come on and say spew, the word spew, some negativity. And what has happened is that the Twitter and the mobile devices in particular, good and bad come with every technological advancement. The good is I can keep up with Gio's behind-the-scenes tweeting on my new Apple Watch.
Thanks. Isn't that great?
Also good is that you can subscribe to WFO Radio and hear this great philosophical show that makes some good points and some negative points from time to time. We think we're entertaining. Hopefully you have signed on and you enjoy what we do. Occasionally it's racing related. But there is also negativity, like the person out there who is maybe a little just, angry or deranged or angry about whatever the reason, has the opportunity on a regular basis to go on there and affect the mood of others. That race sucked and I hated it because
I hate everything.
Or maybe maybe they were a Brad K fan and they wanted Brad to win. Or maybe, who knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on? You just don't know. But people, I can tell you that if you scan the Twitter feeds, and myself included, I'm in the airport. Something negative is going on. It's a negative situation. What do I do with it?
Retweet it.
Retweet it. Look at this line of people. They're not calling anybody. This is just preposterous at American Airlines. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying that this is a thing and that maybe we need to address this thing. This thing is a bad thing. Hashtag punch in the face.
That's right.
Yeah, that's my new deal. But good job, Joey. Attacking the trolls. Look at this guy's a champ. Less than 3 races, and he's already calling out people. He's already taken responsibility, calling out the trolls. Joey Logano calls out the trolls in NASCAR land. We should put that up there. Good job, Joey. Calling out the trolls. You were saying?
That I had some actual, imagine this, facts and data from the race. Because we said that we would watch a few races and before we pass judgment on this new package.
Yes.
19 lead changes among 9 drivers. And the top 4 were within 2 seconds of each other at the checkered flag on a 100-lap final green flag run. That's in 1.5 mile racetracks. We did not see that very often. More often than not, someone found the setup and just checked out.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that is. I
mean, think about it. 1.5 mile tracks, generally speaking, were a little boring.
Right.
And I gotta say, it did make it more packy-ish, but there was
7 drivers led double-digit laps. Like that's. Let's start there. The producer statisticians who want to help the show and spend a whole lot of time chasing some numbers that we are not going to chase. Go back into the 1.5 mile tracks and find out what the average is.
And 9 total drivers led laps. So that's out of what? There was 38 guys, so that's 25% of the field.
Yeah. Lee Spencer says the first segment was just okay, and then things. Listen, you can't. You're not going to have arbitrary action. Like I remember thinking at one point in the race, and I forget who was leading, but I feel like maybe it was Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch was coming up behind him to try to take the lead. And they were talking about how Kyle was faster and quicker and that Joey had a different line and that maybe, Kyle was running a higher line and Joey needed to go up and run that line and that kind of deal. That was the conversation. And I remember thinking to myself, Joey should just let him go. Because this race is not over forever. He'll be able to pass him back. He'll see what he's doing. Let me see what Kyle, if I was the driver, let me see what Kyle's doing. Well, where's this guy going? What's his story? Can I do what he's doing? And maybe I can do what he's doing better than what he's doing. Let me see him. Let me follow him. Let me tuck in behind him. Let me see how my car's handling around him. Because it doesn't matter at that point. But Joey did not let him go by, and Joey retained the lead because he's not letting Kyle Busch go by because there's an attitude thing, and I get it. But I'm an advocate for racing hard, but you got to race hard at the right time. And in stage 1, you want to get some stage points maybe at the very end, that's fine, but this was not that. Lap 22. What are you doing? And oh, by the way, with 7 laps to go, why on earth are they focused on the battle for 14th or whatever they're doing? And we're screaming at the TV like, show us the front. The battle for 10th is not this interesting. What was it? Was it 10th? Eric Almirola. No, it was the battle between Truex and Eric Almirola for 7th and 8th. And they were dialed in on it, man. They were focused. Look at this. Eric Almirola is following closely on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Martin Truex is battling tightly. It's yeah, guys, we had something up front that was pretty tight too. Anyway, there are your results for the Pennzoil 400. And great job by Matt Hagan and Leah Pritchett for saying, drivers, start your engines. And we will have Matt Hagan on NHRA Nitro, in case I did not ever get back to that. We will also have Dom Lagana, and we'll also have John DeBartolomeo for a prolonged discussion about drag racing. I'm working on some of the unfinished business. People can't guarantee. And maybe even Jake Sundstrom from NHRA National Dragster, if he's available, to talk about his new power rankings. But I thought it was cool. We pushed Matt off to this week so we could talk about his NASCAR experience.
Makes sense to me.
How many NASCAR drivers do you think Matt Hagan could fight at once?
All of them.
I know that's a silly and dumb question.
No, it's not.
Right?
Just look at them.
But you put Hagan in like one side, and then you have all the other drivers. They'd be like a bunch of Lilliputians running around. Trying to Gulliver's Travels. You're trying to tie him down.
Well, Newman's still around, so you know.
Yeah, now Newman's big.
He's a tough guy.
He's big, man. He's big. All right, there you go. Hey, this is a good point in the show for me to tell you about the people who support this show. And yes, we are still a sponsor-driven show, as much as the Patreon is really taking off. And I want to say thank you to the folks that support us directly on patreon.com/WFO radio. And it's time for some specific content for them. Maybe I'll tell the Patreons who Unfinished Business is. What do you think about that?
Do it.
Do you think I'll get in trouble?
No.
Between now
and the 100 people that are going to be listening.
Right. And the Patreons, like, you know.
It's like it'll be an exclusive.
It'll be an exclusive. Yeah, but what if they go to the media? Well, I heard on Joe Castello
release
Patreon.
It right in the morning, right before, like an hour before the announcement.
Right.
See?
Well, we can do that with the Patreon. We can schedule the exact moment that the thing comes available. All right, so that's what we're going to do. You will get like a 2-minute exclusive. Here it is. I don't want to do that to the social media team.
I get it.
No, I know.
Right
it doesn't seem right. Daryl Gwynn was going to do it. We went to this car show yesterday.
Right.
This Mopar Club here in South Florida, and they have some amazing cars. And I wish I was more of one of those guys, who knows, hey, this is the M option. And it's a 440 and a Dart and blah, blah, blah. And there's only 62 of them in the whole world, and this is one of them. And I got buddies that know all about that. I just never thought to commit that stuff to my brain. And
yeah, I have a brain full of other useless knowledge.
Yeah, right. Just different. Like I can quote Ghostbusters. Those guys can't quote Ghostbusters, but I can. Neither one of us has really got great factual basis. But it was fun, and we're at the deal. And we're, I come out to, introduce Daryl Gwynn and do a little interview. And we talked about the Gator Nationals. And we want to get everybody up there to Gainesville for the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals, the 50th, which, by the way, in NHRA National Dragster, I wrote my column that will be associated with the 50th Gator Nationals. Source of pride. But, so Daryl, I'm like, everybody, listen, I cannot confirm that this person's going to run that person, and I cannot confirm this, and like I'm trying to dance around it, but get everybody excited. And Daryl goes, I don't work for NHRA. I can tell everybody everything. I'm like, well, yeah, that's true, but everybody's got their phones out, and we don't want to be the ones to ruin it. And so 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, the video comes out, mentioned by Giovanni. See for yourself, WFO Radio, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
so everybody that I follow on Twitter, this is going to be a new thing.
Yeah,
I got to do it.
Be great. Well, but I just
Apple Watch
retweeted a video that they have a side by side, or actually top to bottom, not side by side, of the restart in Stage 3.
I liked it.
Las Vegas last year versus this year, and it's perfect for you to view it right there.
That's wonderful. I'm glad you're doing that. It would be better if you did that from the WFO account. I should give you that access. Oh, wait, you have it. So
that's why I tweeted it at WFO. I figured that you could just retweet it and it'd be perfect.
I'll do it.
From the WFO account.
So let me tell you about Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School and the Dragster Adventure. Something you definitely want to do. It's a whole lot of fun. If you're an Ignition listener, listen, we don't splash you over the head with the spots, but you got to know about who these people are, because they are actually making it possible. And everybody
you better hurry up and sign up, because they get sold out real quickly, too.
Did you hear that? They're very close to sold out. Very close to sold out. FrankHawley.com. And everybody's starting a podcast now, by the way. We've been going for 10 years, and there's like a podcast explosion happening. And so, we have a sponsored podcast. It's kind of like
if we knew what we were doing.
Well, we have a sponsored podcast, and so, we hope that the entertainment is worth it, folks, because these people want to get to you. like Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com. It's gourmet coffee and hot sauce and spice rub, and everybody that's tried it has absolutely loved it. Plus tools and tips and all kinds of great stuff. Go there to Fort Worth and buy a barbecue. Do it. Marvin Rodak. The School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, samtech.edu. This is a perfect opportunity for me to tell you, the Ignition listeners, that, I don't want to spill the beans, but there's something new coming. And we are going to need you to subscribe to the new something in the first, and you're going to hear the most amazing, and it's going to be really cool. And the folks at samtech.edu are heavily involved. So without me going any deeper, and, just be ready. This is something that I think, we cannot just sit on our butts while everybody else does their thing. We got to do ours. And so check it out. Plus catspotlitter.com. Scott Palmer, Magic Dry. Catspot Litter, Magic Dry, stepping up in the sport big way. Motorsportsguys.com, Hank Steffers Metalworking Lubricants, and audible.com/WFO Nitro. Yes, audible.com. I was really concerned about what's going on with the whole audible.com thing, because that's like a third-party sales deal. But I have been encouraged. Apparently now, you can start your 30-day free trial by just going audible.com/WFO Nitro and get your first audiobooks. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thanks to all those sponsors. Plus, Drag Racing Edge Magazine. Johnny D is going to be on EV3 Drag Racing, which has taken over fulfillment of the prizes. Thank God. Thank God. Oh, my gosh. I told you about the one guy.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys are a bunch of liars and cheaters, and I'm going to go on Facebook and blow you all. Oh, wait, I got it. Thanks. And there you go.
I'm calling the BBB.
Yeah, Better Business Bureau. Exactly. All right, you ready for some Fantasy League results?
Fantasy League, of course.
You like my gallon of water that I'm drinking? Look at this.
I do. This is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Joe does now walk around with an actual gallon of water with a handle on it. And it's not, it's like a typical gallon, but the handle is like a little bit
wait
hard
a second.
plastic.
This is because this is a premium bottle for a premium water.
I wasn't going to call you out for drinking your Shishi alkaline premium water. I'm not going to give it a full
8.8 pH alkaline water. No, I'll mention it. This is a Himalayan minerals, man. This is premium water. You understand?
It's gourmet, dude. I'm
Listen,
telling you,
I have
gourmet.
an Apple Watch now, man. I can't just drink regular water. I got to drink premium water. Like, I'm a premium guy.
It's gourmet for sure.
The word premium. And so look, but see, they're not confident enough with the water. They have to put a fancy handle on here.
That's why it costs almost $4 a gallon
and it's not, the handle is not formed into the gallon jug. Do you understand what we're talking about, folks? It's more of like a plastic hook that goes on the top. And it's like, if this thing is not on here, then you cannot pick up the jug. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about drinking a gallon of water a day. Have you done it? Have you tried it? It's hard.
I drink a good amount of water. I don't think I get anywhere near a gallon.
And that's the whole exercise. Like, I used to see all these guys carrying the gallon jug around. And I maybe have mentioned this in the past, but I have traveled so much lately, I don't even know where I've been. So if I'm repeating myself...
I've been everywhere, man.
I apologize. But in my quest to lose weight and be healthy, I have read that it is very important to drink a gallon of water a day. And I thought, I wonder how much water I drink. I know I drink a lot of water. I do not really drink soda. I do not drink other things other than coffee, which, as I understand it, is made of water. So I feel like I'm good.
Hey, beer's got water in it, too.
But, so, these guys at the gym, you see them, or people just around, they're carrying a gallon jug. Guys at the barbershop, they all got a gallon jug, and they're drinking a gallon jug. So what's up with the gallon jug? That's how you know if you've drank.
But I've got a question. Doesn't it get warm?
Yes. It's room temperature water, man. Like, you could keep it in the refrigerator if you want, but apparently it's healthier at room temperature.
I prefer my water to be cold. It
well,
doesn't
then
have
you
to be frozen.
Then you put it in the refrigerator, your gallon, and you just pull it out. So, the first couple of days, man, drinking the gallon was hard. It was hard, man. I got to go get some, I got to log some drinking in. I got to get some drinking in. right?
So are you above the gallon now? Or,
no, today's been a bad day. I've got about... No,
well, you're only about halfway down there.
This isn't a fair, accurate assessment because I filled this up at like 11 a.m. So the last little bit from yesterday, I drank. But I'm not anywhere near a gallon. But anyway, it does something. Like it does something. Like you feel it. I feel it. You know what I feel? I feel hydrated. And I recommend it. So you people in the WFO universe, you want to do something interesting for your health? Grab a gallon, fill it up with water, or buy it.
I mean, that sounds like too much water to me, man.
Well, exactly. How much? How about this? Just to see how much water you drink in a day. Don't even try to power down the gallon. But start out with a full gallon and see where you end up. That is an exciting and interesting science project.
An exercise.
Now, I can tell you that it has been beneficial in many areas, especially with the Morning Miracle. Let's get into the Fantasy League results.
Oh, boy.
Don't forget to remind me about the guy who was complaining about the thing on the website. Because I did. He said that everybody was a whiner complaining about NHRA.tv.
Oh, okay.
I think that's an NHRA Nitro guy.
I'm pretty sure.
But I want to mention him on this show, too. All right. The weekly winner in the WFO Radio Fantasy League on drivergroupgame.com. And no, we did not do any investigation about all those people with 0 points to see if they're playing in the driver group game league. It is unfortunate. I wish we could spend some time. Maybe the WFO radio listeners want to do that and go reach out and contact all those people and say, hey, you can get your points in there. But right now, we can't do it. Sacramento Racing Fan, the weekly winner, 338 points. Got the job done. But to me, what is more exciting about this whole thing is that he called the show to celebrate.
WFO, Joe and Gio. This is Sacramento Racing Fan calling from Sacramento, California. Just wanted to give you a little insight into my strategy for winning this week's fantasy racing league. I unfortunately was unable to get into the system and reset my team from Atlanta, so I had to have the same team at Las Vegas this week. Fortunately, that worked out for me. Normally, I do terrible when that happens. WFO, and looking forward to the Gator Nationals.
I thought he was going to brag or something.
Celebration. That's the winning strategy, says Kevin. Kevin has been a WFO radio listener for a long time. Like back to Satellite and MySpace, and this is a guy, he never asks for anything, and he is always sharing and retweeting the show and doing wonderful stuff. Like he is definitely one of the great listeners of all time. And right there, look, okay, did he sound like a professional broadcaster? No. Did he sound like a guy who's just a friend of the show who's calling in to let us know? Yes, we got to hear his voice. Simple as that. Memovoice.mp4. And every one of you can do that.
And thank God you didn't play the rest of that stuff that got recorded there after he thought he hung up.
Exactly. Like the sounds of oops. Now, that doesn't happen. That's why you check and you listen. You kind of edit it yourself. Is this acceptable for the guys?
Isn't it great?
Are they going to make fun of me? No, we're not. We're not going to make fun of you unless it's funny, unless then maybe, But I think Kevin just did an excellent job right there. Good job, Kevin. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening forever.
Keep it up.
Sacramento, and we'll see you at the Gators.
And the good work,
too. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are going to the Gator Nationals, I am going to be extremely busy. But we are going to carve out a whole lot of time to have fun and do cool stuff. Hanging out.
Yeah, all day long.
Meeting up. Doing stuff. Sacramento Racing Fan wins the week. Little Low second, 336. Third, Patrick the Webmaster, also 336. Spider Monkey Racing. Our Grammy Award winner, Gary Corbett. What was Gary Corbett texting us the other day? He didn't like somebody. He said that somebody came across as negative.
Did he?
Yeah.
I do recall that.
Austin Dillon.
Yeah.
He hates Austin Dillon. Gary
I don't think he
Austin Dillon has got a Grammy Award winner.
Actually, you're right. Now that we think about it, he did reach out after we were discussing Austin's wife and her big cheekbones.
Oh, remember that whole conversation? How ugly was that? That was a terrible conversation.
Really
I felt
was,
ashamed about that.
I told you that you shouldn't have been saying that.
But
kind
what
of stuff.
it did, though, listen, I'm not saying I'm an angel or perfect, okay? But what it did was it did produce a whole bunch of photographs that made the case, right? That she's a beautiful woman and fantastic. Not as beautiful as the Monster Energy girl from yesterday's race that was standing behind Joy.
Oh, I know who that is.
She was
the blonde Ashley.
Smoking.
Her name.
What? You know these girls' names?
Not all of them, but she just happens to be on Twitter a lot.
You follow her on Twitter? Really?
Gee. What isn't that what social media is for?
Yeah.
To follow all the attractive women?
I guess. I thought that's what Instagram is for. So Gary Corbett's...
if ever you want a corporate time-stealing weasel, that is the best place to go kill a break.
Since we're on that subject, it is kind of amazing to me what has happened on the Instagram. Once upon a time, as a young teenager, you would go into the 7-Eleven or certain areas, and there would be like a certain area of the magazine rack that was forbidden. And there was interesting stuff there. Well, now, no wonder all those things are going out of business. You don't need anything.
Well,
there's beautiful people
everywhere.
Just like showing everything on the Instagram.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like a
chalk
this one up to the positives of social media.
It's not completely showing everything because Instagram is pretty, they don't show nudity.
Let me tell you, Twitter.
They leave very little to the imagination.
What about our number one listener, Mike Viebler?
Yes, but that's on Twitter, and there full nudity does reign because Mike is constantly
Twitter follower.
Tweeting and retweeting all kinds of
that guy's brightened my day many times.
Absolutely.
I'll be feeling down in the dumps, and then all of a sudden.
Here's one for you guys.
Tennessee Money Man following Spider Monkey Racing. And the problem is it doesn't show me like first, second, third, fourth. So once you go one scroll down from the top, I just lose what everything is.
You've lost track of who's who.
Tennessee Moneyman, Uper 1, Team English, Fat Tire 22, DRT 20, Car 24 fan, Southern Racer X, Elephant Racers, and JJ Husker fan, rounding out the top however many that is before Dirty Hippies. Dirty Hippies 307. WFO Joe down there with 303. My best score of the year so far. I had Brad K over Joey, which is bad. I had Kurt Busch and Daniel Suarez, and I had Matt DiBenedetto. So there you go. Way to go, Matt. Instead of, I had the right call.
I mean, it's not terrible having Brad K, who came in second and led laps over Joey. I mean, it's probably just a few points.
Exactly. I'll take it. Thank you very much, Brad K.
No, your move would have been Bowman over Suarez. No, Almirola.
Almirola over Suarez would have been a much better move. Now, here is the overall lead in the WFO Radio League. And perhaps for the first time ever, the league leader is Grammy Award winner Gary Corbett.
Oh, my goodness. And Gary
Spider Monkey
Racing.
Racing.
To brag about it. He must not know yet.
Yeah, 917.
Yeah, he's busy with the iRacing. He's an iRacing champion.
He's doing, I think they're doing a 72-hour marathon race. And, Gary's part of a team where there's 3 drivers, and they're driving nonstop 72 straight hours, iRacing.
Unbelievable.
I'm just making that up, man, and you didn't even bat an eyelash. It sounded totally reasonable.
And I wouldn't go
reasonable.
72
hours this time. Wow,
I don't know if it's reasonable, but it did
Corbett's
sound
really into this.
It did sound logical at the moment.
Yeah, 3 guys, 72 hours. Yeah,
it sounds like each of them drives, in 6-hour shifts and stuff. No, it didn't sound reasonable. I just.
That's how you get divorced, Gary. Just saying. Team 12, second. That's Mike. 00 dead on, third. Southern Racer X, fourth. Sacramento Racing fan, up to fifth, just 28 points back. Car 24 fan, sixth. Keen Racing, seventh. Team English, eighth. That's Mike English. 9th is Patrick the Webmaster. 10th, Bug Barn Bobby. Royal Flush Racing 11th. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR also 11th. 62 back. Had a terrible week, obviously. I Can See Her Almirolas, which is Steve the Trucker, 13th. Rich and Saugus, 14th. Willoughby Racing, 15th. Fat Tire 22, 16th. Dirty Hippie, 17th. Now let's just move on down.
Come on. You got to say who's after the Dirty Hippie.
What, Driving Hard?
No, Team Gray.
Team Gray, 19th. And there it is. How come it's only showing me the top 24?
Because you have to go to that where it shows 100 instead of just 24.
Yeah.
Scroll up right under spring.
Now, first you got to go to full season. And then, I don't have that option over here. No bueno. Come on. Yeah, it's not giving me that option.
But don't go to full season. Just go to spring.
I don't get that option.
Interesting.
Refresh
the page. How could that be? Well, I get the option. You want me to keep going? Where did you stop? At 24, obviously.
I stopped at 24.
Never mind. 26 is Tennessee Money Man.
Oh, wait. Here it is. There's the top 24, and then right below, they list everybody. Oh, I'm ahead of you.
Oh, well, we got a draft going there. I'm
ahead of you. I'm right behind Hockey Kid.
1 point ahead.
I'm right behind Hockey Kid.
2 points, sorry.
But again, they don't show the number.
Yeah, they do. What do you want to know?
The overall position.
You're 28th.
How do you see that?
I'm 29th. Hockey Kid's 27.
I'm confused.
I don't know. Maybe we're at a different page. Your page looks kind of different than mine. I don't think it's loading properly.
Yeah, my thing
here
is
we go.
It's not loading
26 was Tennessee Money Man. 27 Hockey Kid. 28 Joe.
Yes.
29 Gio. 30 Uper 1. Another former champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
right there. 2014. 31, our friend down under Bulls Wool.
Bulls
tied
Wool.
with
great guy.
Ray Indy. RAE Indy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Smothered and Covered, another past champion, is 33rd. Little Low, 34. Elephant Racers, 35. Barbecue Bob, Craig and Newhall. Day Racing, 21. JJHZK.
Husker fan, man. That's JJ. That's our buddy.
JJ Husker fan. Jesus. Dirt Girl, 40. Lowe's Shingones, 41. Dirt 99, 41. Tied. Dirt Girl number 2. Dirt Girls all over the place.
The Dirt Girls reached out to me. And they explained that it is the whole family, and they're all listening.
And it is Dirt Girl?
And no, they did not acknowledge that.
Oh, okay.
But that they're a big part of. They've been listening for a long time, and I guess the dad who's got them all into it, and they all play.
Oh, he must be Dirt 99 then.
But he didn't get in on it.
Oh,
he didn't. He missed out on the league.
Well, he could still start now. It's never too late. You won't win the championship, but you could be in it at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway, Aviator and Black Ice tied for 44. Tom Inc. 46. SRX2 Racing 47. Mischief Bent Value?
Yeah.
Mischief Bent Value.
Bent Valve, man. Bent Valve. Mischief Bent Valve.
Mischief Bent. All right, well, they misspelled it. Dirty Hippies. Mrs. Dirty Hippies 49. Tied with Millerman 2 Brian. Stubo. Following on Twitter, 51. Hockey Dad, 52. Buffalo Butt Breath Racing. Why do I get a feeling that that's got something to do with the Lows?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Boogity, 54. Tied with JG, 24. LKB. Race Guitar. Tied with Lugnuts.
Yes.
Sounds like a name from Blast from the Past. Moonchild, 51.
Right.
Field Tree, 59.
Yeah.
New Hampshire Bucknut 442 or NH, whatever it is. 60. Mark, 23. 61, Beats 1, 85 Racing, Beeristol.
All right, you don't have to give every school.
Nitro,
man.
Miss Black Ice, yada. Easy E is bringing up the rear.
Easy E, 009.
And the rest of you that didn't insert your name in here, many regulars. Woodchuck, really? What happened to Woodchuck?
What happened
Brian
to Woodchuck?
Spink.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm doing something. I'm calling a little bit of an audible because I made a mistake, I think, here. And so we're going to find out. We might be in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. But maybe not.
Well, this is the beauty of... No way.
Yeah. Yeah, supposedly. According to Facebook.
What is it, like 100?
I don't know. Well, see, the thing about Rich
You
York
have reached the voicemail box of
York,
860.
Oh, well.
Oh, but you should... No, good job.
Hey, Rich. This is the WFO show. You're on the air. We're calling to wish you a big happy birthday because I see you posted on the Facebook. I wish to thank everyone who took a couple of minutes out of their busy schedule to wish me a happy birthday. The problem is I don't know if it's really your birthday or if this is just the day that Facebook says it's your birthday, because I remember there was some confusion about that. But if it is, in fact, happy birthday, Giovanni and I want to wish you happy birthday.
Absolutely. Happy birthday,
happy
Big Rich.
Happy birthday, Rich.
It's good to be rich.
Yeah. So happy birthday to you. We usually have a little sound effect, but I guess it's not coming up, which is kind of like par for the course. You would expect that, right, with the show. But, Rich, thank you very much. And on behalf of the WFO Radio universe, happy birthday to you. Are you going to have it, or it's not going to happen?
It's happening. What do you mean?
It's not happening.
Except that I'm not potted up.
You're
been happening.
Potted up. You're potted up. Your side's not potted up.
Oh, my
That's your
side's
fault.
not potted. Oh,
yeah. See, Rich?
Sorry, Rich. Woo!
Later. There we go. Look, we got it under the wire.
Yeah.
We got a birthday call in to Rich. That's exciting.
And now I'm going to text him like 3 or 4 vulgarities.
Well, he just posted it not that long ago, so I didn't get that on my Apple Watch. I didn't get that on my Apple Watch. All right, let's keep on going now, because I still got to get to my got stood up story, which is something. And I am. I'm schwitzing in here. It's very warm. Hey, speaking of the premium water, what do you think of Chevrolet switching the LTZ package to premium?
Like, that's going to be the new name?
That's what it is.
So it's no longer called like the LTZ. It's now the premium?
The highest level package, trim package available on Chevrolets is called premium. And it says the word premium.
Interesting. No, yeah. I think I don't like it.
Well, I was walking through the rental car lot the other day, and I saw a couple of Impalas, and I was like, oh, man, which one of these should I take? And this one said premium. I was like, oh, I'm going to take the premium one. And it had a bunch of stuff, and I was happy I did. Now, I would have figured out the difference between LTZ and LT and all that, but I don't know. Premium.
Premium, huh?
Well, I kind of don't like the word premium.
And so what do they call the other ones, like unleaded?
Less, yeah, exactly. Super. Less. Well, you were asking me, like premium gas in the new Miss Giovanni ride. Premium. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird word, premium.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just charging you more for something.
Premium.
Well, that means it comes before.
Right. I don't know. Just something to think about for you folks out there. All right, before we get into our next big thing, Giovanni is going to play a race report we received from the RaceSherpa, who his name is Derek, and Derek Ross, and has been communicating with the WFO radio show for a while, and it just takes a while to link up, and we actually connected at the PRI trade show. And he's a nice guy, and he's got this whole thing where he goes to different races and racetracks and gives tours, and, he's a listener to WFO radio, and he's in the biz. So anyway, recently he was out at Circuit of the Americas, and he was there
COTA
while the IndyCar test was going on. And so out of the, he thought, hey, I'll record something for the guys on WFO radio. Now, those of you who are very astute at following the schedule and the calendar may know that the IndyCar test at the Circuit of the Americas was several weeks ago.
I mean, several weeks ago, really?
Well, you could probably figure out exactly when it is. But, well, listen, I have a very legitimate excuse, is that we've been traveling and going crazy, and I did forward this to Giovanni weeks ago. But it's making its way to the air now.
Look, let's be
for whatever
fair,
reason.
We weren't really in studio
Producer's
now
discretion.
for like a month together.
The day that this came in, I was in Johnson City, Tennessee.
How about that?
And, you could have played it then.
Yeah,
but
I could tell you what the day I got the email.
Yes.
February 18th.
Okay, so it definitely would not have had the impact that it is about. What are you laughing at?
I guess February 18th was a little bit ago.
Yeah, but not that much ago, like 15 days.
2 weeks ago to the day. And you weren't even in the
I haven't been in the studio
then.
for the last 2 weeks. I think we're totally absolved for being a little tardy on it. So let's check out a race report from the RaceSherpa from Circuit of the Americas. Do it.
Yes, that's the sound of IndyCars here at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, at the beautiful circuit just outside of Austin, Texas. Joe, this is an amazing event. This is just testing here today, but it already has that feel. You can get that excitement. You can understand everything that's happening. The teams have been waiting all year long to get back on track. This is going to be an amazing event. Folks, if you've never been to Austin, Texas alone, it's a great destination, as is this event coming up very shortly. The IndyCars have taken to this twisty track like a hot knife through butter. You can feel the pulse of the excitement here in pit lane. There's been a lot of talk here in the last couple of days of last-minute switching from drivers from different cars. But the real story is the fact that cars are on track and the racing season for IndyCar is about to begin. Of course, the first race of the year is going to be down this coming March, down in St. Petersburg, Florida. The second race is going to be here at Circuit of the Americas, just outside, as they say, Austin, Texas. It's going to be big. Everything in Houston, or I should say everything in Texas is big, and this is going to be a big event for sure. I think it's going to match very nicely the Texas Motor Speedway race we have in June. 2 destinations in Texas. It's a big state. It can handle it. Come on out and take a look. All right, Joe, thanks for having our quick report on your show. WFO fans and listeners, enjoy.
And there you have it. Thanks to Derek, the RaceSherpa, for putting that together. And that is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I think that is great, that we have, listeners and contributors and people who are out at events doing just brief reports like that. Like, that was cool, man. Go visit his
site, RaceSherpa, SHERPA.com.
That is fantastic. And that's right, the IndyCar Series season coming up.
This weekend.
March 8th through 10th at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, which I was just talking about this event this past week. I was stuck in the airport, and there was a lady next to me, and she struck up a conversation, and she starts talking about, just many different things, as travelers are known to do because they're lonely. And so I'm listening to her, and it was fine. And so she starts talking about how she was so super excited because she got to meet and take a picture with someone that she loves, that is a deity in her life, and that person was Gene Simmons.
Very interesting.
And so I had to bust out my own Gene Simmons story.
Yeah, we have Gene Simmons stories.
That's right. I busted when Mr. Gene Simmons was hitting on Mrs. Giovanni, and the long schlep through the hotel. Viceroy or whatever it was.
That's exactly where it was,
right?
The Viceroy.
The long schlep through the hotel story is fantastic. But then, me throwing out swag on stage with Kiss. Gene Simmons. Well,
if it had been Gene and Paul, then you could say Kiss.
Whatever.
To be fair.
For me, it doesn't even matter. I'm just throwing out, hats. He's doing the behind the back. I'm doing the thing like that. It's a great one. And so her story was immediately crushed. Yeah, you got a picture with Gene in a restaurant. Big deal. I threw out swag with the man.
But you have no proof of this.
Yeah, no.
It exists.
There's video evidence.
The
King videoed it.
You don't have any.
Yeah, it's somewhere in one of those servers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's buried deep in one of the servers.
It's in one of those video archives.
When
somewhere.
I was looking young and full of life and energy, now it's all over. But yes, IndyCar this weekend. Thanks to Derek for getting us started. The NTT IndyCar Series out there at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Going to be very interesting.
I think it was perfect that we saved it for the week right before the IndyCar so we could do our Indy pre-race report.
No, I agree.
I'm excited to see Fernando running in IndyCar.
Absolutely. I think the whole thing has worked out absolutely perfectly. It's almost as if we planned it and we're just playing it off. like we're a couple of clowns.
We would never do that kind of thing.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I mean, this show is all about prep.
So what are we doing? Are we rooting for Fernando Alonso over all these guys that have been the IndyCar guys for years?
I mean, I don't expect him to just come in there and dominate or anything, but yeah, I want to see him do well.
You don't expect him to come in here and dominate or anything? Because I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the McLaren that good?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay, so then that.
But how bad could it be? Isn't the whole point that the IndyCar is kind of equal?
Yeah.
You know, we've seen those power plants win races, and about working the chassis. That it's not like they've got stuff that, or they don't have stuff that everybody else has got. You know, it's not Formula One. The cars are pretty much equal. That's the whole point. Yes, the way the teams manipulate the cars in certain situations on certain given weekends, it's a different concept of racing. In America, we do this. We do it in our NASCAR, and we do it in our stock car racing, and we also do it in our NHRA drag racing. Like the days of hey, I secretly came up with this thing that nobody else has, those days are gone. Because we know that just chases people down this rabbit hole of spending a lot of money to find that one thing. Instead, what we do is we make our stuff good, but kind of speckish, so that the time and money and resources is spent just making it good for the given weekend. Refining what everybody has in the best possible way, like it or not. So back to my original point. Is Fernando Alonso going to dominate? Yeah, you know what I kind of think? Allow me to make my prediction.
Well, it's your show. Go right ahead.
Well, I'm going to do it, since we're on this.
Oh, technically this one would be our show, but
I think you had it right the first time. I think that Fernando Alonso is going to open a can of whoop-ass on the IndyCar field. And I think that, just like Nigel Mansell in the past, Fernando Alonso is going to be your IndyCar champion.
Wowzers.
Is he going to win the Indy 500? That I will not make that prediction, because that is a specific and unique race. Although you may recall last year he had a great run. But that's a different story. But I'm going on record right now. Fernando Alonso, whoop-ass, IndyCar champ.
Wow.
Okay, now would you want to question me as to why?
Why?
What is the benefit? What makes you feel this way?
What empirical data do you have to suggest?
No, it's all emotional data. And here's what it is. This guy has been so frustrated for the past however many seasons, being held back by the car he has driven, whether it been the Ferrari or the McLaren or otherwise.
Yeah.
He has been so restricted by his equipment that to be equal with others is going to put him vastly in front of them. You follow?
Yes, I get it.
Fernando is one of the greatest, Grand Prix drivers that has ever lived.
He stopped Schumacher.
That has ever lived. And his career has, it didn't go well because there are other things other than driving.
His career went very well.
But he could have had 5 championships. He could have had 6 championships.
But yes, he did have 3 or 4 second-place finishes afterwards.
Yeah.
The
red sled, the Ferrari, the whole... he got the Ferrari at the worst possible
McLaren,
time. Yep.
And the bad stint when he went to Renault after that. And,
yeah.
And unfortunately, that did derail his career to make him probably where he really deserves to be thought of in a higher echelon. But I think the fact that he was in poor equipment all those years also really showed everybody what a great driver he really was.
And so who's going to beat this guy? Like Will Power? Will Power is a great driver. And Scott Dixon? So there's the battle. You got Scott Dixon, you got Will Power, you got a couple of others that are great drivers. Excellent drivers.
I mean, the guys that have been winning recently.
Yes, Joseph Newgarden. But really, these guys, okay, here comes Fernando Alonso, and he's pissed. Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he's pissed. And he wants to do something, wants to win something, hasn't won nothing in a long time, and he pissed. Who's going to stop him? I don't think so. Graham Rahal, got to mention Graham, friend of the drag racer. Alexander Rossi, Zach Veach. Simon Pagenaud, great racer. Simon Pagenaud, sports car racer, had great success, came to IndyCar, great success, amazing. Here comes Fernando Alonso, angry man, ready to uncork. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I guess we got to see. Dixon won last year.
It's a can of whoop ass.
Cemented himself as
about to be opened by Fernando Alonso. All right, I want to play one more piece of audio. Thank you very much, Derek Ross, the Race Sherpa, for getting us on a little IndyCar here. Hey, here's something else I want to put out there. Just a little something. Ready? This is a press release from Homestead Miami Speedway. 6 Florida drivers to test at Homestead Miami Speedway during Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires Spring Training. Miami, Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires Spring Training, is set to visit Homestead Miami Speedway March 2nd through 4th. You understand? That was this past weekend.
Yeah.
Drivers from 3 IndyCar sanctioned divisions, the Cooper Tires USF 2000, the Indy Pro 2000 Championship presented by Cooper Tires, and the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. Road to Indy is the proving ground for drivers hoping to one day compete in the NTT IndyCar Series. And they talk about the 6 drivers, Kyle Kirkwood and Oliver Askew and Lucas Cole and Darren Keene. I called a lot of these guys. Eduardo Barrichello, who resides in Orlando. But what I think is interesting is that, there's a new connection with IndyCar and Homestead Miami Speedway. Maybe that could be something that they're working on.
Possibly.
Wouldn't that be fun? All right.
They should be. There's no reason why.
We had such great times at the Miami Grand Prix all those years. We had fantastic times. What can you say? And it's just a shame. That last one was terrible. Nobody promoted it. But we had good times at the IndyCar race. And the more races, the better. All right, this next one coming in from Sean Anderson, who has been doing a good job sending these recorded comments. And I want to play them now more often.
That's not Sean that works on the team, right?
I don't know what Sean works on.
The hand model? No, his name isn't Sean.
No, I don't even know who you're talking about. Hand model.
Not the hand model. The friend of the hand model that works on the Top Fuel team. Volunteered.
Hand model. You're throwing me off. The only hand model I know is Louis Bloom.
No, the model, our friend over here.
Restrictor plate?
Restrictor plate's friend that works on
Greg Carrillo?
Yes, that worked on
So
Race
you think Sean Anderson is restrictor plate?
It's not? No.
You got the Sean part right.
Oh, okay, so it's not the same.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just Sean is restrictor plate.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Sean. I've got like 5 friends named Sean.
They're both Sean. Oh, that's totally okay.
And they all spell it different.
Hand model. Just
Wasn't
model.
He
He's just a regular model. He was a Delvac, mobile Delvac guy.
There you go.
My goodness.
Look, man.
Now you're going to inspire him to call and yell at you. All right, here we go.
That's all right.
Let's see what Sean has to say.
After seeing the electric Copo, this got me to thinking, maybe it's time for electric Pro Stock. Production motors, production batteries, lots of manufacturer involvement, lots of innovation. 1 motor, 2 motor, 4 motor, motor in front, motor in back, motor in the middle. Who knows? Chassis designs that we can't even think of right now. Public interest that we can't even think of right now. This could bring NHRA to the pinnacle of automotive technology quickly, make headlines, and do so much for Pro Stock that's not there right now. It could bring back the production car connections. WFO.
Wow, okay. Interesting. Number one, tough subject. The internal combustion people are very nervous about the electric stuff. I see it all over. Alan Reinhart has to give a little preamble every time the e-Copo comes up. I'm not saying that all cars should be electric. Like, nobody, hopefully, is suggesting that. But the reason he has to give the preamble is because I know he's read emails from people that say, you're just trying to make this big liberal agenda and you're trying to kill everything that I like. And that's not what it is at all. That's not what it is at all. I can tell you that I have had the best possible view of anybody of the eCopo, like right in the water box for the burnout. I talked to Pat McHugh at the we really broke the story of the eCopo on Performance TV in the very first episode of the year. It was from SEMA, and the big story was eCopo, and we covered it. And I sat in it. I have been in the eCopo, okay? These are the type of things that I should be talking about on a more regular basis. Joe Castello has sat in the eCopo and shifted the eCopo and done all that stuff, the car that everybody's talking about. And the eCopo is really cool. It ran 974. Said on Nitro a week ago that eCopo, as cool as it is, it needs to be racing something, man. It needs to be racing. Let's get E-Mustang out there, okay? Where's E-Mustang? Where's E-Cobra Jet? Where's E-Challenger? And yes, Sean, yes, that could be great. But are our people, the drag racing fans, open-minded enough to accept it? Or are they going to go to the social media and they're going to start boycotts and screaming and yelling at these kind of things? That's the question. Of course, there's a spot somewhere in the pit area for these cars. Absolutely. And why can't a Tesla run against this? A Tesla is an American-made car. Why don't we want Elon Musk to try to send his cars out to beat eCopo? Now, it doesn't have to be electric Pro Stock. Because that implies it's going to replace Pro Stock, and people get very sensitive about that. But why can't it be its own thing? Why can't it run in Competition Eliminator? And that's where I think it should go. Like, I think eCopo should be able to run in Comp Eliminator right now, tomorrow, right now. Why can't we? And not just like Big Daddy Don Garlits has got this electric dragster, and he's got to bring it out and rent a track and try to make runs, and nobody sees it. And Don Garlits, the greatest racer of our lives, is racing in front of nobody because there's no place for him to race with his new toy that he's innovating. Why can't we find a spot in Comp Eliminator for Garlits? All right, Garlits, what did that thing run? It ran, 699. Okay, so 7.0. Yeah, okay. Everybody else is, that's fast, is running 0.6 under the index. And so your index is 740. And so now you're 0.4 under. So you're pretty good, but you're not the best. Go drag race. What's the difference between that and anybody else? Just pick an arbitrary number, call it the index, and let's invite some electric cars out there. Why not? There are people that are interested. They'll start coming to the events. They'll be cheering, yeah, go electric. And everybody else will be like, boo. It'll create some genuine rivalries. You never be like, you're running gas in your generator. Haha. So I agree, Sean. I think it is definitely coming. This is the kind of thing that requires early adoption. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming no matter what. You're either going to get ahead of the history or you're going to be behind the history. It's coming no matter what. There's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing we could do to stop it. The guy with the razor phone. I'm not getting that stupid thing. I'm going to continue with my flip phone. It's going to be the greatest till forever. No, you're going to end up with one of these. It's just a matter of time. Will you be ahead of the curve or will you be behind the curve? And I want to be ahead of the curve. I'm advocating publicly. Anybody, rules makers, people within the NHRA, people within the auto manufacturers, do more. You're not going to kill the gasoline race car. You're not. You know why? Factory stock showdown cars run 780s and 770s. eCopo goes 970s. It's a miracle it's going 970s. It's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And the gas ones are 2 seconds faster. The day they figure out how to beat the gas cars, I'm all for it. They're not going to. And the day that they beat the gas cars, they're still not going to have the sound. And that's part of it. But to take it one step further, Formula E. Formula E. Are you following Formula E? Formula E is getting pretty big, guys. Formula E is getting pretty big. You know, there was a time I was going to send my resume to the Formula E guys and be like, try to get in on that. And then I was like, Formula E, people will make fun of me. You know, is this going anywhere? A bunch of quiet cars. The driver's got to get out and get in a different car. That's lame. Formula E is getting big, guys. Everybody's involved. It's like every Formula One guy that didn't quite make it at the top tier is like, I got a Formula E ride. They're out there battling. They're all over television. They're traveling the world. Formula E. Why?
Hanging with Leo.
Yes. And the manufacturers, they realize this is something that the die was cast years ago. It's just, are you going to accept it or are you going to fight it? And you don't have to love it. And it's not the best thing going today. But it is something, and it is racing. And I like the idea of two cars. Like, here's what I like. Okay, ready? Just to get you in on the same page. Okay, picture this. It's the final round. And to the starting line, or the first round, because there's only two. Here comes Ecopo, end of the water box. And your favorite announcer is on the mic, whoever it might be. And he's like, Ecopo is driven by this guy and this guy. He's going to do his thing. But on the other side of the racetrack, it's some other guy, and he's driving E-Mustang. And they're going to do it, and they're going to do the burnouts, and here we go. And everybody is cheering, and you can hear them because the cars aren't making any noise. You hear the squeal of the tires, but you hear the roar of the crowd. And so now those two cars pull to the starting line. And your favorite announcer, whoever it might be, is building it up. Like this guy or that guy and these people and that people and the engineers at Ford versus the engineers at Chevrolet. And there are people in boardrooms all across the country, all across the world watching this race. Who's got the better technology? Who's put together the better team? Who's it going to be? The lights flash. The green is on. The cars are going. The wheels are in the air. And there's no sound. What do you hear? What do you hear? And I would imagine, you know, the answer is I don't know, but I think and down the stretch they come moment of a horse race is what you would hear. If you've watched or been at any kind of horse race that has of significance, like, you know, the Kentucky Derby, like you've been at the Derby, and none of us could be like, you know, I don't even bring up this stuff anymore. Now that Paulie the White Guy has been to the Belmont for a Triple Crown win. Something that he's putting in all of our faces over and over again, and there's nothing we can ever do to beat it. Nothing.
We could go to all three.
But what if we don't see a Triple Crown? It doesn't matter. You got to see the Triple Crown winner.
But he only saw one race.
He saw a horse win the Triple Crown. He was there. It's insane. It's the greatest stat ever. But the energy of the down the stretch they come moment is unlike anything in the world. I don't know if you're a gambler or a horse racer. You just, you know, not you, Gio. I know you're a degenerate. I know you. I mean, your listeners out there. But think about the silence might add a human element. Because the thing about racing is the cheer of the crowd, you can't hear it. Because it's too loud, and so people don't even bother to try to be heard. I don't see too many people screaming out, "Go, Ron Captain!" Nobody says that because they know nobody's going to hear them. There's no chance. But with E-Copo and E-Mustang or E-Challenger or Tesla or whatever, Leaf, here comes the Nissan Leaf. Boo. I think people will yell. And wannabe, it doesn't even make that noise. It's nothing. It's amazing, though. But anyway, thank you for your thought, Sean. That's my thought in response. All right, what else do we have? We have Formula One. And now, with this week's Haas F1 report, Giovanni in Miami.
Well, all right. Formula One has continued to be tested in Barcelona last week.
Barcelona.
As we saw, I believe Vettel had one of the fastest times right there.
Barcelona.
I don't want to click on any of these things because they're all videos.
Because the videos are going to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was testing in Barcelona. I believe Robert Kubica is coming back.
He's only 20% ready. Yeah, we broke that story a while ago. I have, according to the folks at ESPN.com, their rankings following testing. Do you want to hear that?
And remember, I think, weren't we discussing Friday how Lewis was claiming that Ferrari was 0.3 or half a second faster or something?
Yes.
And it turned out to be like 3/10,000ths.
Yeah, well, everybody's sandbagging anyway.
We discussed
and speaking of Alonso has confirmed he will test the McLaren Formula One car for this year at this point. He will test the car, and that makes sense because he's got great experience with last year's car, so he'll be able to determine how much better they have made the car. So, Alonso doing his thing. And we're just a week away. The Gator Nationals weekend is Formula One weekend also, which is kind of a common thing. They happen on the deal. All right, here's the ESPN rankings. Number 1, and I don't like this. Number 1, Ferrari. Total 997 laps, second out of 10. By every preseason metric available to the media, Ferrari had the fastest car in testing, which scares the heck out of me. On ultimate pace, it was 0.003 quicker than the Mercedes. On tire-corrected pace, it was 0.005 quicker. And on a race pace, it was 0.28 quicker. Sure, Ferrari has the fastest preseason lap for the past 4 years. See, exactly. And none of those cars ended up winning a championship, but it is rare that it has held such a comfortable margin over Mercedes in race pace. The advantage over last year's title winners may not be the 0.5 Lewis Hamilton talked about last week, but all indications from testing suggest it is likely to be measured in multiple tenths of a second. Does that mean we should hand the victory to the Australian Grand Prix to Ferrari already? Not quite. And even if we did, we don't care as Ferrari fans. Winning Australia would be nice, but that's not really what we're after here, folks. Echoes of the Miami Dolphin fans from the 1990s, just saying. As we see throughout 2018, holding an advantage at one circuit does not mean 2018 will not mean it will transfer to another. The Circuit de Catalunya is a purpose-built racetrack made of a mix of corners, etc., and so on. I'm going to move on to the next one. Number 2, Mercedes. Mercedes started the second week of testing by introducing a major upgrade to the W10. The front wing, barge board, side parts, and rear wing all featured significant changes after an underwhelming first week. The world champions started to show some genuine pace. The first thing to note is that the upgrade package was not a reaction to the lack of progress in the first week of testing. This was a large-scale upgrade that was planned long in advance and was always intended to form the basis of the package Mercedes would use at the season opener in Melbourne. There you have it. And they've talked to K-Mag, and he says that the new wings make it easier to follow the car in front of you. So that thing that they've been trying to solve for the last 20 years, they haven't solved it, but it's much better. 3, Red Bull, 833 laps. How many laps did Mercedes run? 1,190 laps, Mercedes. 833 for Red Bull. Red Bull's second week of testing was frustrating to watch. The clearly capable RB15 looked quick throughout testing, but thanks to lost mileage in the last 2 days, it failed to set a lap time representative of its true pace. Although Red Bull was careful to not directly blame any in public, Pierre Gasly had a lot to answer for after his huge accident in Turn 9 on Thursday formed the root of the team's problems. The first accident was probably forgivable, an occupational hazard, putting a new car through its paces, but to have a second seemed rather careless. There you go, Red Bull. 4, Haas F1. Woo!
Moving on up.
871 laps. 117.07 was the Haas. And what was the Ferrari? 116.22. So less than 1 second gap between the Haas and the Ferrari. A race sim by Haas in the final hours of testing were quick enough to turn a number of weary heads in the media center on Friday afternoon. Although the team had shown promise at various points over the 2 weeks in Spain, the lap times that Kevin Magnussen, a.k.a. K-Mag, was able to achieve had the potential to put the black and gold car within touching distance of the Mercedes. Perhaps it shouldn't have been a surprise that the VF19 shares as many common parts with the pace-setting Ferrari SF90 as is allowed under the regulations, and is combined with a feeling in the paddock that the midfield teams have closed the gap to the top three. Yeah. I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, I agree.
Magnussen's impressive pace seems entirely plausible. One lap pace was less impressive from the Haas, but that may be down to the team struggling to unlock the full potential of the softer compound tires. That could result in the American team struggling to fulfill its potential on certain circuits, but it may also be a problem it can resolve from the relatively cool track temperatures of winter testing. But reliability remains the biggest concern for Haas after a number of showstoppers brought the car to a halt on track over the 2 weeks. Yeah, they're working on stuff. What are you going to do? You know, they could have easily won best of the rest last year if not for self-inflicted problems. You know, wheels coming off, crashing, taking each other out, etc. 5th, Renault. 6th, Toro Rosso. 7th, Alfa Romeo. 8th, McLaren. Oh, McLaren. Let's read McLaren. McLaren started the second week of testing very well, going quickest on the opening day through Lando Norris's time on the C4 tire, coincidentally, as former driver Fernando Alonso made his first appearance in the paddock. Although Carlos Sainz lowered the team's headline time later in the week to dip into the 1:16s. The orange and blue car appeared to be a small step behind its midfield rivals by the end of preseason. So why are we dissing it, man? Racing Point, number 9. It's always hard to make too much of an evaluation about the team formerly known as Force India as this stage. The team traditionally looks underwhelming in testing before turning it up in the early rounds with a slew of upgrades and rocketing up the order. That was usually done on a shoestring budget. The team is now bolstered by billionaire Lawrence Stroll, whose ambitious plans to expand the team's factory should leave no doubts about his ambitions to make Racing Point a legitimate contender in the future. Racing Point, man. What do you think about them?
Sounds good.
10 Williams. And there you go. There it is. I think we're up to speed. And there's your Haas F1 report.
Look at that.
4th overall. You know, I think Red Bull could be vulnerable. Their driver lineup doesn't impress me that much. You know, Pierre Gasly. They've lost Ricciardo. Max Verstappen is...
Well, I mean, he's impressive.
He's very impressive, but also...
well, we'll see.
Able to go off at any moment.
But he could also just find himself because
and win 10 races, right? No, that's true.
He's definitely young and talented.
He is very talented, extremely talented. And there you have it.
Barely old enough to drink.
Verstappen. All right, what else didn't we get to?
Or at least here.
Did I talk about my premium water?
Yes, we discussed
I did.
premium.
No, I just got to tell my I got stood up story, and then I'm done. And then we'll get into Sports Collision. We're not making the picks right now.
Well, you're stood up the guy complaining on the site about NHRA TV.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Can I find that on the site?
Yeah.
I'm sure this is first of all, I've been trying to get these comments off
it was episode 7.
The website. Oh, wait, that's on the webisode or it's on the comments? I was disappointed to hear you characterize. Here it is.
Right, but it comes out on the bottom, I guess, of
what do you guys think about the episode numbers? We were trying to be more podcasty and less radio-y. So episode 7, I feel like encourages people to stay up with the show. And you realize, there's been 7 episodes, so I can go listen to them all. I'm on episode 4. I'm on episode 6.
Oh, that's like for the binge listening?
Well, yeah. I feel like it makes it palatable to people. They realize, okay, this season there's been 7 episodes, and they follow along. That's why I did that. But Gio has also mentioned that you don't know what week that came from, and that's true, too. So, what do you think? A little listener feedback would be nice. I've asked you for several things. Joe at WFORadio.com. This one from Tom. I'm going to read it on the Nitro Show as well. Joe, I was disappointed to hear you characterize the people complaining about NHRA.TV and All Access are basically whiners and telling us to man up. I'm sure you realize we are paying for a service and can reasonably expect to use that service. Yes, of course. Tom. And you know that, I know that, which is why you say, I'm sure you realize. With all the hype about the new NHRA.TV, I expected better. It isn't. I paid for a subscription through the iOS app, and the money was deducted from my bank account. So far, after 3 weeks, my account still shows I have no current subscription. Emails have gone unanswered since the first, probably automated, saying that they got my issue and were escalating it. 2 weeks and nothing. Is this the customer service you are saying we should not complain about? Would you accept a car dealer selling you an oil change and not actually doing it? You just said you do your own to avoid problems. Would you accept it from your cleaners, your ISP? What about the server company that hosts WFO? I think you would expect that you pay for work to work just like we do. So don't be running us down as negative Nellies. In fact, some people consider a company taking money and not providing what it was promised as fraud. I don't think you really want to be enthusiastically endorsing a company that uses those business practices, says Tom. And Tom, yes, I do agree with everything you've said. However, I feel like you are the exception. If you are not getting the service you paid for, first of all, I think you are doing a terrible job. You should be all over this. You've allowed 3 weeks to go by. You should be pitching a fit a little bit more. You should be doing a better job. Now, I don't mean that like critical of you.
You should attack Reinhardt on Twitter.
Yeah, you should have announcer at NHRA.com. Don't you hear Reinhardt at every race soliciting birthdays and shout-outs and technical advice? Come on now. No. The answer is you have a legitimate problem, and some people did have a legitimate problem. But many of those people who had some trouble getting switched over from the old NHRA All Access went to the Facebook and burned the place down. And then it worked great, and they've never had a problem since. And I really feel like those people should have been a little more patient. And it's the same thing we were talking about at the start of the show on the social media. Just because you can totally destroy the reputation of someone because you're having a moment of inconvenience doesn't mean you should do that. And as soon as your moment of inconvenience is over and you're enjoying the product, you've forgotten all about how you went onto the Facebook and just blistered these people, except the next 1,000 people that come around see that. And that's what I'm talking about. I think you know it. And now your deal, you've got a legit issue, dude, and I agree with you. You paid for something and you're not getting it. That's not even representative of the product. That's not the product. The product isn't better or worse. You don't even know what it is. You're not getting it. Like, it just didn't show up. Like, you ordered a pizza and the pizza didn't show. Well, what happened? Well, maybe the order didn't get given to the pizza guy, or maybe the pizza guy died on the way, or maybe he's in jail and your pizza was taken by the police.
Maybe he was running more than just pizzas, huh?
Right. Is that representative of the pizza? No, it's not. Is it representative of the business that's running the pizza? Yes, in many ways, but do you want to, like, are you going to call it fraud because your pizza didn't show up? This is fraud. No, it's not fraud. There's a million things that could be the reason. You know, maybe it is fraud. Maybe someone's there taking fraudulent orders, running the credit card, and they're not sending the pizza out. That could be happening, and it's definitely on the raft of possibilities. But I'm telling you that this is not fraud. This is a technical glitch that you are having with your account. What I would do, like, first of all, your first mistake is paying with your bank account. Number one. This is why you should have American Express. Because when you put things on a credit card and it doesn't work out, you can then dispute the charge and then start from scratch. This is banking advice courtesy of WFO Radio. By the way, Tom, I appreciate you listening, and hopefully you understand that there is an air of comedy and sarcasm through this whole thing. We feel for you. And I don't know why it's not working, but the people who did get it working are loving it. And what I'm talking about is complaining that something sucks and it's terrible before you even get it to work. And then realize, oh, this is great. But you've already misinformed hundreds and maybe thousands of people to how bad it is. And you can never take that back. That's what I'm trying to stop. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not saying you're a whiner. You've got a real beef. Am I going to pull this audio for tomorrow and just play it again?
Yeah, your whining is legitimate.
Your whining is legit. You've got a real beef. Something is wrong. You are, let's put it another way. Okay? You should be in total agreement with me because all of these other people that are erroneously complaining about BS is taking attention away from your legitimate gripe.
Wow.
Think of all these people that are going on the Facebook and writing, I can't get it to work. Oh, wait, it's me. I didn't erase the cookies, or I've had my password wrong, or the transfer over was not right, or whatever. They are all taking away from your legitimate beef. And there you go. So what I would do if I was you is I would continue. I would call again. I would stay on the phone. I know you're busy. Everybody's busy. You know we could do that. I would cancel the service. I would dispute the charge. I would start from scratch. But once, whatever this weird glitch is that you have got, like, I don't know why this is happening. Of course some people have had technical glitches, but other people have gotten right through. And I don't know what the deal is. And there's nothing on the internet that works 100% of the time. In fact, I pay for Uverse, and there are times it's not on, it's not working. Why isn't it working?
Well, WFO works 100% of the time.
WFO works 100% of the time. So, Tom, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And for those of you listening on NHRA Nitro tomorrow, this is some of the stuff you hear on the Ignition Show. Shouldn't you be listening more? And there you go. I was real proud of my, you know who I thought of, honestly, and I didn't want to bring it up, but I thought of, that dude, the actor from Empire, who paid those guys to beat him up.
Oh, yeah, that.
Remember that story is one that's not really a WFO thing because it's just so sad and a travesty, but it's like the real serious version of this. There are people who actually do get beaten up by people. There are actual hate crimes that actually happen. The person who makes up a phony, bogus story diminishes all other stories just like it. Like the boy who cried wolf.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that should be treated. I feel like it should be treated. Well, I'm curious to hear what happens to that guy in Gio World because I know it. Like I felt very upset about that. Like that was a very upsetting thing. Here's this guy. He is in, he's a gay guy or whatever, and he's like claims that these guys beat him up and they did a whole thing and they drug Trump into the whole deal and he made this whole freaking spectacle and it. It was a total lie. So what happens in Gio World?
I got to tell you, this might sound a little excessive and draconian, but
Be serious, no comedy here. Like now we're on a serious subject. I'm really serious. What do you think should happen?
I almost think that this guy should be hanged on Friday with the rest of these of the people that get hanged on Fridays in Gio World.
Okay, well,
public hangings.
See, you say,
while that does seem a bit extreme,
it doesn't.
Like really, think about the damage that someone like this causes.
Well,
to all society,
to everything, top to bottom. Yeah. Okay. So I'm against public hangings. I'm against that, and I think hopefully you're just trying to stress that you think something really super serious should happen because I think you couldn't handle a public hanging personally. I think you'd freak out. But I agree. Maybe not public hanging, but some sort of very serious, intense punishment that will get the attention of everybody who would think some crazy stuff like this. We haven't been in the studio. This was very upsetting to me. It's like the person who cries rape but wasn't raped. What do they do? Who do they hurt? They don't hurt the person they're accusing. They hurt every other person who has really suffered that horrible situation. Boy, it got real serious in here, but this is the thing. Thank you, Tom.
You must have seen that special on HBO last night, huh?
No. Which one?
Finding Neverland.
Oh, my God. You really want to take it down. I heard about that all day today. I'm avoiding that one, man. I can't handle it. Just like the one about the Scientology. I can't go there. I got to keep I can't pollute my brain with that. But that one was horrible.
For those of you that haven't watched it, it's everything that you heard.
No, this was graphic details. I heard just quick
Well, that's
clips.
what I'm talking about.
What, did you watch this?
Oh, well, I didn't watch the whole thing.
This is what you put on, huh? All the stuff you say I don't watch, and that's the one that you put on. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know why.
No, I can understand.
By the way, part
sick
two,
curiosity.
Part 2 is probably going on right now.
There's a part 2?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's sad.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
I always hoped that I always kind of held out hope that it wasn't what this thing
Oh,
says
no,
it was.
I never imagined that.
Always held out hope. It's just Hollywood life, and kid was messed up because of Hollywood.
Well, he was, and he was messed up because of his parents.
Yeah, but this,
because of his
but
dad.
the running of the drills, though.
Yeah,
that's different. Like, that's different. Like, you can be crazy and not right, but as soon as you're like, okay, we got to come up with a strategy for what happens if we get caught, like, then it becomes this horrific, malicious thing.
And just, as a parent, it's like, how much fame blinds you to the fact of what was going on? Like these,
I don't think
people
should
took
be surprising.
their kids over there.
Yeah, no, they did,
and left them there for days and weeks at a time.
Yeah. Well, that was always crazy. But see, that's the thing. One of the common threads about WFO is the sadness about the weakness and pathetic nature of humanity. We're trying to all rise above. Part of the way you rise above is by listening to the show every week. Please subscribe, write a review. But really, like, what?
And if you want to unsubscribe and subscribe again, I'm sure that's got something.
I don't think that does anything.
I think
what stranger? Like, the thing about famous people is they are also strangers. They're strangers. You do not know them. You do not know what they are.
No,
but because they are famous, so many people, they think that they know the famous person. Lady Gaga and this guy, they did this thing, where they're doing the deal and they're singing the song, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, they're in love! Oh my God, look at them, they're all in love!" It was all over the news. And then she goes on, I guess it was Kimmel, and she's like, "We're actors,
right?
We are actors.
Right.
You people, we are actors." She might as well have said, "You morons, we're actors. We wanted you to think that because we were acting. That's what we do. We get paid to do it. We're good. We make millions of dollars because we're so good. Now you know."
It's a role.
But people, oh my gosh, I think they're in love. Oh my God, I felt so uncomfortable for his wife.
Right. Never mind the fact that he's married.
Yeah, no, there's countless very serious issues. Very serious. And I agree with Joey Logano. We should try to be positive as best as we can.
Why can't we all just get along?
Except bad things are happening in the world, too, like me getting stood up today. Listen, I don't talk about this part of my life very often, but in this one occasion, I will. So I had a meetup with a lady. Yeah. And, I had scheduled. I'm trying to get her name. One moment, please. Her name is Cookie.
Oh, well, right there. You should have known Cookie was going to stand you up.
And so Cookie...
She probably found some ice cream to go along with the cookie.
Exactly. Cookie did not know she was planning to meet up with a guy with a podcast, and she was going to get ridiculed. But, I had felt like, we were going to have this meeting. And so what had happened was I put this box of speakers that was in my closet.
I think we've discussed the speakers before.
That I bought in the parking lot of the Home Depot. The speakers that are taking up the space that were in the parking lot of the Home Depot. The Epic Sound 7.1 surround sound system that the guy sold me for like $150 out of the back of his truck in 2002 from Home Depot. Have we talked about this?
I believe we have.
Well, I put them on offer up. And Cookie says, "Hey, I would like this." And I've been getting offers for the speakers. $60, $50, $40, right? Everybody's lowballing me. And then here comes Cookie. She wants to pay $70. I've got them on there for $75 for the speakers. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to sell these speakers. Finally, I'm going to get them out of here, man. I'm going to get rid of this 7.1 speaker nonsense. I don't even have a brain for the thing. It doesn't even matter because soundbar's cool now. And so on Sunday, we tried to meet. Oh, I'm moving here and I'm moving there and I want them so bad and blah, blah, blah. Okay, can we meet? Oh, it's just not going to work out today. Okay, tomorrow's the deal. How about 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock. And so here's our communication train, me and Cookie. And I'm like, very excited, And she's like, "Still moving heavy furniture. I really want it. So can we do it during the week tomorrow?" I said, "Message me in the morning. We'll work it out." She goes, "Perfect." And I was like, "Good morning. Still interested? What time are you thinking about it? I'm planning my day." She goes, "Yes, I do. I have to work today. After 3, okay?" And I was like, "What city do you work in?" "I'm in East Pines near University." She goes, "I'm off Cypress Creek, but I don't work far. We can meet." And I was like, "Okay, how about this location at this time?" She goes, "I can come closer to you. I live in Dania, but 4 p.m. is great." 4 p.m. is great.
Apparently not.
And I go, "That will be helpful. Let's do 4 p.m. And that's the last I heard.
That's the last I've seen of Harold.
That was last to me. It's like, hey, I'm here. A couple minutes away. Look. For some reason, you're not going to make it. Please tell me. I'm going in the store now. Hit me up if you get here.
Notice he's whining more now.
How's it going? Are you going to be here anytime soon? I'm leaving. Sorry.
So how far into dinner did you get before you realized Cookie wasn't showing up?
I know, man. It was terrible. It was terrible. I was very sad. In fact, I was sitting in my car because you're supposed to do these transactions in a very public place.
Oh, yeah, so you don't get jacked for the
So I don't get jacked
speakers.
for the $70 speakers. They murder me for the speakers. Kid found dead, for speakers.
A 50-year-old kid.
So I'm there in the parking lot of Trader Joe's, right? But I have a plan the whole time. And so this girl pulls up next to me. This Cookie, right? So I was like, roll down. I was like, hey, Cookie. I don't know Cookie. Oops.
Sorry.
Big mistake. Sorry, I meet people here and okay.
It sounds like you were doing some kind of drug deal is what it sounds like to me.
Oh, it felt like, well, it felt like what I would imagine a drug deal might be like. Okay. And so the good news is, though, because I am not stupid, I double booked the moment. And that's where I got my Apple Watch because it was in the parking lot of also a Best Buy. So after I realized that Cookie was the store I was going in was to get my Apple Watch. So really, I didn't lose any extra time. I just went and got my Apple Watch and waited for Cookie, and she has still to this day, till right now, Cookie, right now. How about I found another Epic Sound 7.1 from the back of the truck.
I see. You were trying to offset the cost of the watch.
Dude, my perfect goal was to take the $70 and walk and hand it to the Apple Watch man. That was what I envisioned. That's what I wanted to happen, and that's why
best laid plans.
I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed that the Apple Watch thing just didn't work out exactly how I wanted. How much cooler would this be if that was part of it? I traded the speakers for it.
Yeah. Talk about barter.
I know.
Barter life.
Yeah,
Tote life.
Hashtag Tote Life. Does anybody know about Tote Life? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Tote Life was great.
If anybody out there knows about Tote Life, then you have to let us know.
Does anyone know hashtag Tote Life? I'll just tell them. No, but this audience, come on, man. They haven't.
We got to give them a chance to
Half
reply.
of them haven't seen Star Wars. Do you think they know about Tote Life?
Yeah, because they skew young.
Let's see.
That's why they haven't seen Star Wars,
right?
They either skew really old or really young.
Let's see. All right, it's time for Sports Collision.
Okay, if I had to guess, I'm going to say that no, none of them know what we're talking about.
If anybody knows about hashtag Tote Life.
Wow, what can we...
You'll go in a pool, and you'll be randomly selected for something great.
I'll send you something out of the prize closet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how about that?
Email Joe at WFORadio.com, Tote Life, if you get the joke. So, Sports Collision, what do you got? Yeah, I'm not playing the sound effect anymore. That was just for a limited amount of time.
Well, the sports world. I went to a basketball game over the weekend.
Oh.
I've been watching.
We're talking about that now.
Lots of live sporting
That's something
events.
that's now public knowledge. Okay.
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
Nothing. I went to a basketball game. That's like the second one I've gone to in like a few weeks.
How was it?
It was fine. It was great.
It was fine.
It was great. The Heat won, and
wonderful.
It's always good when the team that you go watch wins. So, yeah. Got me a new shirt.
What?
Yeah. I didn't buy the jersey.
Yeah.
I didn't buy the jersey.
You're too old and fat. I mean, old to be in a basketball jersey. You just are.
Obviously.
And like guys like us are not supposed to wear basketball jerseys.
For the 2 games a year that I go, I'm not gonna buy a $100 jersey.
Even with the T-shirt on underneath, it's just not a good look for grown men.
Well, I didn't get the basketball jersey.
Okay.
But that's it. No, I went to enjoying the other sports. Baseball's coming around. A couple of just 3 weeks away from.
I was looking at opening
Thursday.
day tickets.
I believe
for
Thursday is the 28th.
The Florida Marlins.
When is Marlins opening day?
28th,
Friday?
4 p.m. against the Colorado Rockies.
Okay, because I believe the Yanks kick off the season at 1 p.m. that day.
Yes, they do.
In New York.
I'm excited about baseball
I was looking
season.
to go to, but it ended up not working out for me.
Why are you even doing that to the audience. Like Gio was real. You're going to go to New York? Yeah, I was planning a trip to New York, but
it didn't work out.
Yeah, I was going to go up in the SpaceX, but it didn't work out.
Well, no, that I'm not doing.
Yeah,
I can tell you that right now. Gio's not going up in no SpaceX.
No, but I'm excited about the baseball season, man. I think everybody is fired up.
Coming
this
up.
is it. The Yankees are much better. Basketball's
the
going on.
LeBrons are terrible.
They're going to miss the playoffs. Why is everybody angry? What did Snoop
Dogg
say?
What?
Supposedly Snoop Dogg went on some sort of extreme profanity-laced tirade on his Twitter feed because of the LeBrons not making the playoffs.
It's I can see how the LA sports fans are very disappointed.
Yeah.
The team kind of sucks. LeBron's been a little bit, he got hurt this year. I can't go around saying, who never gets hurt?
LeBron.
Yeah, because he did.
Right.
But, no, that's it. The basketball season's coming to an end. There's, every team has got about 20 or so games left. And that's it. The boys of summer are warming up, and the basketball's coming to an end. There's not a lot going on in the regular sports world.
Well, I'm interested. I think that I heard them talking to the Marlins say, I don't know if you know this, but they said that they have redone the entire interior of the stadium. They gutted it during the offseason. And that they... I
didn't see any pictures of that. I saw the pictures of that area I
guess all the green tile is gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So somebody must have been listening to you.
Well, I know. That's the thing is I've been going on this thing like, I am a New York Yankees fan, and I love the New York Yankees, and the New York Yankees are religion to me. But when you take Derek Jeter of the world champion New York Yankees, who is totally connected to everything great that has happened for the Yankees, and Don Mattingly, and they put them on a team that is in my home city that I can go to and enjoy. You know what I mean? And Jorge Posada, I'm really liking what's going on with this team. And then they change the logo, and they're listening to me. They're connected to my brain. The one thing I really didn't like was that phony green that they had up on the wall, because I really believe that the greenest thing at a baseball field should be the grass. You have the beautiful green baseball field grass to give you your green when you go to a baseball game. You should not put some weird green ceramic tile on the wall at a baseball field. And so apparently they've changed it to blue, is what they were saying.
Well, now
and they're going to put up ivy on the wall. They've supposedly, quote unquote, gutted the interior of the stadium down to the tile, and they have changed the whole experience. I heard that on the radio today, locally, AM radio, no less. So how about that?
Sounds good.
Isn't that
we'll have to see it. I know that was something you
I have a
big advocate of.
Yeah, I have already said. I've been saying that from the beginning. Right. I appreciate you remembering that.
Yeah, no, I know you hated the green like poison. I actually thought it was all right.
It bothered.
It was South Florida.
It was all right, but it wasn't baseball to me. And I felt like that's always been the problem, is you go to Marlins Park and you're getting something that's not quite baseball. You're getting something, but it's not quite baseball. And I feel like now you're going to get baseball. This is baseball, man. People in the Caribbean like baseball because it's baseball, not because there's crazy colors.
All right.
I'll
give you that.
The home run statue is now outside. They split the baby with that.
No, they didn't split the baby.
They could have put it out at the Miami High Line like we thought it was going to be.
No, there's some deal that it has to be there at the park or something.
It's going to be outside. They built this triple-deck fan viewing zone. Supposedly they've redone all the food concessions. That's another one. All the food, I don't know what they did, but they did something. That's why we got to go. I want to go opening day. You already said you don't want to go.
I didn't say that.
You got to check. I got to talk. I
got to
see
if I'm able to
maybe. I don't know.
I got to see if I'm able to escape.
4 o'clock start, man. Why don't you tell the guy to make it a work outing?
Yeah, no, the guy is going to be at one of those other ballparks.
Oh, the one in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, but you got to stay for the last hour of the workday?
No, that's not necessarily true. Yeah, I just have to figure out. I had already requested those days off.
Sick. Okay, are we done with SportsCollision?
I don't get sick. I don't do that. I've never called in sick.
A couple other things. Luke Perry died.
He really didn't want to do that 90210 reunion, huh?
Oh, my God. You've been tuning that one up all day. It's good, though.
It really is.
I like
Come on,
it.
that was a good comeback.
No, I like it. It's good.
But I guess
somebody else died, too, though.
He died of a stroke.
He died?
Well, yeah, I know who you told me. The Prodigy. Is it?
The Prodigy. Right. The Prodigy died, and Luke Perry died. So who's next? Because it happens in 3. And both of those guys are kind of like from the same, like our youth kind of experience, and they're younger than...
I think the Prodigy a little...
He was in his 40s.
Yeah, but Luke Perry's older than that.
49.
For real? That's it?
52.
Yeah, I was going to say he was...
Whatever, that's 3 years.
No, I guess 52 is not as old as I thought he
One
was.
of the craziest thing that I remember, because I am right in the middle of the 90210 craze, my high school time. That was right
we all were.
in the middle of high school for me, 90210. And there are people like Perk was saying he had never watched one single episode. I find it hard to believe that there are a lot of people that don't know what 90210 was.
Oh, I think there's a difference of not knowing and not actually watching
one episode. You know, you got it. People have seen one episode. But anyway, one of our local malls here, the Fascist Center over here.
The Fashion Mall?
Fascist Center.
Yes.
Well, that's what we used to call it, the Fascist Center.
I know.
In, where is that? Is that Davie? Sunrise. Over there on Sunrise, the Macy's Mall.
I know where you're talking about.
Back in like 1990, Luke Perry was going to be there for a signing. And like 30,000 girls showed up. And the whole thing, like you could probably look it up on the Google machine, Luke Perry, Sunrise, Florida, mall chaos. And it was a madhouse. It was bedlam because of this guy. And I didn't really watch the show until that. And then I got in on it, and then I realized what a waste of time. That wasn't bad.
At the old Fashion Mall in 1991.
There it is. Break it down.
Luke Perry had teens in a frenzy.
The internet is so crazy. This is upside. Internet
August
upside.
11th, 1991.
How would we do this without the internet?
Melee at the Broward Mall. 20 injured during surge for heartthrob Luke Perry.
See?
At least 20 people were injured at a shopping mall in Plantation, Florida.
It's Plantation.
Was forced to close for 2 hours. The police had to come, help control, disperse the crowd, who refused to believe that Perry had left. Wow, boy, you were on that one. I didn't remember that at all.
It was a Beatles thing. Well, this is Broward. This is a Broward thing. It was a big deal, though, man. And our whole school,
no,
like a lot of kids from our school.
They have a few pictures of those 80s fashion. It looks kind of like almost watching Weird Science. The mall scene in Weird Science.
The poof hair and everything. And, man, the girls loved Luke Perry and Brandon.
Yeah.
What was his name? Jason Priestley.
Yeah, he got all messed up in a car accident. He used to race.
Well, we were racing together.
When he got messed up, you were racing with him?
No, right before. I was there for the training. And I know people are like, well, what does Castello mean? But it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Yes, like it's the threads of my life that go together with various things. In 2001, I got invited by the folks at Homestead Miami Speedway and Kelly Racing when Scott Sharp was the driver in the IndyCar series, the IRL. And they had their 2000 Dallara IndyCar out there and their 2001 Dallara IndyCar. And so a very exclusive group of people that included me and Jason Priestley from 90210 and Curtis Gray, president of the Speedway, we got to drive... Former president of Homestead Miami Speedway, president at the time. We got to follow behind Scott Sharp, who was driving the 2001 IndyCar in the 2000 IndyCar. And it was great. I did not know how to drive a clutch car at the time. It is so disappointing because now I would really tear it up. But I had some severe helmet cavitation problems. I went 146 miles per hour. And it was great. And I did my laps. Jason Priestley's girlfriend was super hot.
Well, imagine that.
Yeah. And while he was making laps, I was making laps. I was talking to her and being friendly. She was Brit, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so Jason goes out there and made his laps, and we had a lot of fun interactions with, like about how great a time we were having, because how could you not, right? It was awesome. And he kind of, like, he was a sports car racer already, and he did the IndyCar thing, but then didn't he try to drive an IndyCar? Look up the Jason Priestley accident. Like, he got, after that, he kind of got a taste to go faster and ended up in a bad crash, is basically what I'm saying, basically. Because I'm saying the word basically, like, too many times, basically. Jason Priestley crash.
At Kentucky Speedway.
What was he driving?
Dude, it's not that fast.
Load it up. Load up the whole history of my life. What's going on?
Crashed head into a wall at nearly 180, breaking his back.
Yeah,
seriously conditioned. Was flown to University of Kentucky Chandler Medical Center in Lexington. Priestley was on a respirator.
Yeah, I know.
His vital signs are stable. Infinity Pro Series
Infinity Pro Series. The car's right below IndyCar, right? It was like the Firestone Indy Lights. And
he got sideways and he corrected, and then the car shot off the track.
And so that's the
Ari Lyondike.
I was at, like, the test that I'm telling you about was like the genesis of that. Because he had done some sports car stuff. And he had done the Toyota Celebrity Race at the Grand Prix of Long Beach and had some. He was a
dude. He's Canadian. How'd that happen?
So's race guitar. It's okay. What are you saying? What is that? What is that saying? The buzz is back, by the way.
I know. I've caught that. It kind of.
But I don't know why. I've been chasing this buzz all around for a while. I can't.
No, we're just throwing money at the buzz. It's
I
not
did.
Working.
I did. It's not. I'm throwing a lot of money at the buzz. Well, it comes and it goes. But anyway, there you go. So Luke Perry, rest in peace, and Prodigy. That's great. Great jams.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Prodigy jam? Do you even know the names?
Bitch Up.
Yeah. That's
Firestarter.
Yeah. Those are both great.
Yeah.
Well, especially since, like, where did they come from? Like, they were amazing out of nowhere. Like, the transition of music. Like, that stuff was, like...
Great video.
Like, it's amazing. But they're both dead. And there you go.
Bye. Won't be seeing them no more.
Right. All right. Is that it? I feel like that's it. I feel like we've done 2 hours and 21 minutes. That's enough. Right? That's enough. And then now the Patreons. Now I got to go on to the Patreon, and we got to create the... Look, the buzz is gone.
It definitely changed.
It's gone. Well, now it's just like a normal sound.
I got to tell you, I get the feeling that I've tried to listen back, and I don't hear the buzz when I'm listening back. So maybe it's something that we're listening to here over our monitors.
No, it's there. It's there, but like only the most astute of listeners with the best of listening devices can get it.
No, to be fair, I usually just listen through the phone. I'm not, in one of these technologically advanced cars that the phone automatically integrates.
It's acceptable.
Whatever you're listening to.
Even with the buzz
speakers.
It's totally acceptable, but we're still going to strive to get rid of it.
By the way, I actually drove one of those cars very recently, and it kind of surprised me that it just picked up my phone and started playing what I was listening to over the car speaker.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
I found that to be an invasion of my privacy, by the way.
No, man.
What do you mean,
you plugged it into the wire. Once you did that, you gave up your privacy.
Oh, man.
That's how it works.
Filth, Florn, filth,
That's
Florn,
how it
filth.
works.
Oh, well, I'm not supposed to make those references.
All right, so later on in the week, there'll be a pick show. I'm going to go right now. We're going to hang up from everybody. We're going to end this podcast, and then I will go to the Patreons, patreon.com/WFO radio, and I will create a picks show that, or a reveal show that lets everybody know the unfinished business.
Is that going to be like one of those gender reveal parties?
It's going to be a gender reveal party.
Whatever you do, don't put the whole Everglades on fire.
The pink smoke, exactly. And we'll program it to come out at the same time that the video comes out.
Like 10 minutes before.
Like 5 minutes before.
It's got to be before, or else it doesn't count.
Yes. Right, 8:55 a.m. I'll pick it out. And hopefully I don't get in big trouble and get fired. Because then it's going to be all Patreon all the time, baby. Every minute of every day.
Or really be begging you guys.
Oh, my God. But listen. This was fun. There's nothing like this. This is its own thing. And not everybody's going to love this. You know, you got guys that they like Don Imus. And then like guys that like Sid Rosenberg.
What's wrong with those guys?
And they like, there's guys that like whatever they like.
Yeah.
This is this. This is it. It's different. It's stream of consciousness.
Yeah, who doesn't like to, wake up passed out in a pool of their own vomit?
Exactly. Come on. So share the show. Tell your friends. Like, these guys are really something, man. They're the next big thing. A couple of kids from Jersey. Except we're not from there. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. We'll see you next time. And just keep on the channels. We got a whole bunch of stuff going to happen real soon. WFO.
The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Woo! Yeah, welcome to the party. Bye, bye, bye.